Morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, wherever you're at in the world. Welcome to Last Raps Baseball's live commentary of Major League Baseball. Tonight, we are bringing you the second game in the series between New York Mets and the San Francisco Giants. Last night, these two clubs met, and it was all New York as they went to an 8-1 victory over the Giants in the first game of this three-game set. The scoring came early and often for the Mets, and they were able to knock out the ace of the staff of the San Francisco Giants, Logan Webb, in the fourth inning. And so tonight, getting the ball for the Mets will be David Peterson, who's putting together a pretty good season for New York. He was an all-star. He's going to go head-to-head against Robbie Ray of the San Francisco Giants. We're going to give you the starting lineup, first of all, for the visitors from New York, as our good friend Joe Mansman is in the house here, pumping his fist for the Mets. Leading off in left field is number 9, Brandon Nimmo. Hitting second at shortstop is number 12, Francisco Lindor. Hitting third in right field is number 22, Juan Soto. And the cleanup spot at first base is number 20, Pete Alonso. Batting fifth and doing the designated hitting is number 6, Starling Marte. Hitting in the sixth spot and playing second base is number 7, Brett Beatty. Hitting seventh at third base today is number 27, Mark Vientos. Hitting eighth and doing the catching is number 4, Francisco Alvarez. And batting ninth in center field is going to be number 15, Tyrone Taylor. They're going to be facing Robbie Ray, who you can argue is the other ace of the staff. Ray has had a great start this season for the San Francisco Giants. He's 9-4 on the year in 21 starts. He has worked 123 in the third innings, allowed 90 hits, 43 runs, 40 of which have been earned. He's walked 15 and struck out 131, pacing himself to a 2.92 earned run average. Well, those are that's your starting lineup for the visitors from New York. Now your starting lineup for the home team, the San Francisco Giants. Leading off in left field tonight, wearing number 17 is Helio Ramos. Batting second at first base is number 16, Rafael Devers. Hitting third at shortstop is number 2, Willie Adames. The cleanup spot and playing third base is number 26, Matt Chapman. Hitting fifth and doing the designated hitting is number 5, Wilmer Flores. Batting in the sixth spot at second base is number 10, Casey Schmidt. Hitting seventh in center field is number 51, Jung-Hoo Lee. Hitting eighth in right field is number 29, Luis Matos. And batting ninth, doing the catching is number 21, Andrew Kisner. And for the Mets, they send David Peterson to the hill. He's got a 6-4 record on the year. He's worked 115 innings, allowed 102 hits, 42 runs, 37 have been earned. He's walked 38 and struck out 97, pitching to a 2.90 ERA. Well, those are your starting lineups. And we're going to be back in just a couple moments with all of the action. We are just a little less than 3 minutes away. It is Mets and Giants when we return after this on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Right back after this musical timeout. Welcome back, everybody. We're just a couple of minutes away from the first pitch. Both teams only made a couple of changes on the offensive side of things, or this one here tonight. Pretty much the same lineup that the Mets rolled out, with the exception is that they have Mark Vientos in the ballgame today at third, as well as Starling Marte in the lineup as the designated hitter. Mets yesterday scored 2 in the first, 1 in the third. Added 3 in the fourth and a couple more to add on in the ninth inning, as they did have some crooked numbers against the Giants. They did have some pop and some power, but most of their runs were manufactured, as they were able to string a number of hits together in the ball game last night. Most of the runs came within the first 4 innings, as 6 of the 8 runs that were scored were in the first 4. They had a number of things they were able to hit and run. They also had 3 stolen bases in last night's game, as they were able to expose Logan Webb, his inability to be able to hold the runners. And they expect tonight obviously against Robbie Ray, as it will be a round 2 of this affair here tonight. It'll be in a little bit tougher against the left-hander. Now, that being said, the Mets, who send David Peterson to the hill tonight, are looking to get back-to-back wins on the road. It is going to be Sunday night baseball between these two clubs tomorrow night. So this game here will set up that action for later tomorrow. Well, Robbie Ray is on the hill. He is completing his tune-up tosses. They've ditched the orange tops. They kept the white bottoms, and they have the black tops today, do the Giants, with the orange trim, as they will be sporting that here for the ball game this evening. So Robbie Ray has completed his tosses, and we are ready to get this one underway as the Mets and the Giants ready to go. Thank you again for joining us here on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Robbie Ray is pretty much a fastball slider type of pitcher. He does throw a changeup as well, but his best pitches are the fastball and the slide piece, as it is going to be Brandon Nimmo to lead it off here for the Metropolitans here to begin the first inning. Brandon Nimmo hitting .265, 19 homers and 59 runs batted in. Robbie Ray ready to go to work. He kicks and delivers, and the first pitch is a fastball swung on. It is lifted in deep left field. Moving back onto the warning track, and there to make the catch is Helio Ramos. And with one pitch, we have one away here in inning number 1, and that'll bring up the shortstop in Francisco Lindor. Well, for Lindor, hitting .252 on the season. He's got 20 homers and 58 runs batted in. He did hit his 20th homer in last night's game. Definitely on pace to be a 2020 man. He needs 3 stolen bases. One would expect he's probably going to be 30-30 this year as well, as he takes a first pitch fastball for a called strike. The count's 1-1 to Lindor. Lindor has got the full sleeves on tonight in San Francisco. It is 61 degrees at game time, partly cloudy, and both of the teams are looking like they are going to be going with sleeves under their jerseys, except for Robbie Ray, of course, the pitcher. He's not donning anything as the first pitch, or the breaking ball, misses down to Lindor. The count's 1-1. Umpires for tonight's game: Trip Gibson is behind home plate. At first base, it is Ryan Blakeney. Junior Valentine is at second, and Marvin Hudson is at third. Our friend Titus is in the house. There's a breaking ball waved out and missed. The count now goes to 1-2 on Lindor. Joe Mansman says, make him work and take the pitches. Sure didn't work in the first at-bat of the ball game. Robbie Ray, you're going to have to make him work for sure. There's a breaking ball missing down and away. The count now goes to 2-2. You want to try to get into the bullpen. But the same can be said about the Giants doing that to the Mets pitching as well, trying to get into the bullpen, chase the starters early. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball down. They appeal over to the first base umpire, but Ryan Blakeney says no. Lindor didn't go, and that runs the count to full at 3-2. So Robbie Ray is shaking off his signs from his catcher. He's ready to go to work as he rocks and delivers. There's a fastball that just misses outside. It's going to be ball 4, and Lindor is going to get himself a 1-out walk. And that is going to bring up the right fielder in Juan Soto. For Soto, hitting .255 on the year, 24 homers and 61 runs driven in. And off to a very sluggish start in New York, but he has picked up the pace. As the lefty Ray kicks and delivers, there is a breaking ball that misses down. They appeal down to the third base umpire, but Marvin Hudson, who is in the rocking chair tonight, said no, he didn't go. So 1 ball and no strikes to Soto. Defensively tonight for the Giants, Ramos is in left, Lee in center, Matos is in right tonight. As there is a fastball swung on and missed. The count goes even to 1-1 on Soto. Around the horn, Devers is at first. Schmidt is at second. The shortstop is Adames with Chapman at third. And the battery of Ray and Kisner. Here's the pitch from Ray. It's a breaking ball missing down and away. And the count now goes to 2-1 on Soto. We will be on late night tonight for some Japanese action. That's the bread and butter of our channel. It'll be the Fighters and the Marines from Escon Field in Hokkaido. That'll go off at 10 o'clock Pacific. If you're around, hopefully you could join us for that as well. That fastball misses down, and the count goes to 3-1 on Soto. So 3 balls and 1 strike. Looks like it's a better crowd here on a Saturday evening in San Fran for this one. There were a lot of empty seats in last night's game. Here comes the pitch. Fastball swung on, grounded over to the right side, fielded on the run by the first baseman, Devers. He throws on the run to second to get the force on Lindor. But that's all they're going to get, as Soto is going to be safe on the trail side. It's going to go into books a fielder's choice, 3-6 for the second out of the inning. Soto safe at first. That'll bring up Pete Alonso. Nice play there by Devers. He's often maligned for his defense. He went to his backhand side. I don't know if I necessarily like the fact that he threw it on the run. He had all kinds of time to set his feet. As the first pitch from Robbie Ray to Alonso is a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. Lots of juice in this lineup here for the Mets. When you think about it, the top 4 hitters, Nimmo, Lindor, Soto, and Alonso, all have pop in the stick. When Nimmo can hit his next home run, it'll be 4 hitters all at 20 or above. Pitch is on the way. There's a fastball swung on and missed. The count goes even at 1 to Alonso. And even though Starling Marte is getting the DH start tonight, he's getting a little long in the tooth. And not just a few years ago, he could run and he could put the ball in the seats. So here comes the 1-1 offering to Alonso as the pitch is on the way. It's a fastball swung through and missed, and the count now goes to 1-2. Last pitch was at 95 miles an hour by Robbie Ray. Ray can still dial it up there. He's had some arm issues through the course of his career. The lefty has been valuable here for the Giants. So here comes the 1-2 offering to Alonso as Ray holds set, kicks and fires. Another fastball delivered, and this one swung on and fouled away over on the first base side. The count remains at 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. All-time Met career home run leaders. Pete Alonso is nestled right in behind Darryl Strawberry. He is ahead of David Wright. I would say by the end of August, he will be in the number 1 spot. As Alonso has asked for time, he steps out. And Robbie Ray ready to go back to work again. Here comes the pitch. 1-2 on the way. Fastball misses down, and the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Starling Marte waiting his turn on deck. Runner at first, Soto, 2 gone here in the first inning. Ray gets his sign, working quickly, and kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. This one's lifted foul over the first base side of home plate. The count remains at 2s. As we mentioned, we will be back on the airwaves yet again later tonight, as we will take on the Japanese. We will look to try to get a MLB game in tomorrow as well, as there's a breaking ball that misses down and in. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Alonso, and that means Soto is going to be on the move. Ray getting his sign from the catcher. Soto establishing his lead over at first. Now time has been called as looks like Robbie Ray has stepped off and he's cycling through the signs again with his catcher. Here comes the pitch. Kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on, rolled over to third. Chapman fields it, fires a bullet across the diamond. It's going to take the first baseman off of the bag. And Pete Alonso able to slide safely into first base. Devers applied the tag. I know that Bob Melvin may want to take a look at this one. And maybe not. He gives the sign that he doesn't want to look at it. So that's going to be an error on the generally very, very good fielding third baseman of Chapman. The ball was in the air on the home plate side of first base. And it was a good piece of base running there by Alonso, who slid to get down, did a headfirst slide into fair territory to avoid the tag. And so he is going to be safe at first. Safe at second is Juan Soto to bring Starling Marte to the plate. So Robbie Ray ready to deliver. It's a first pitch fastball that misses outside for ball one. So some shoddy defense here. Our friend Gracie Lynn in the house. She says she's joining from Westphalia, Costa Rica. And we appreciate the super chat, Gracie Lynn. Thank you very kindly. It is the early tip jar, apparently. We thank you kindly for that. There is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count goes even to 1-1. So some shoddy San Francisco defense here in the first inning, and they'll see if the Mets are able to capitalize. Here comes the 1-1 pitch to Marte, who kicks and fires. It is a changeup swung through and missed, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. As the lefty Ray ready to deliver to Marte again. He kicks and fires. There's a fastball at 95. This is upstairs. The count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, the left-hander kicks and delivers. It's a changeup that misses down, and the count runs full to Marte. So here we go again. The runners are going to be in motion as soon as Ray delivers to the plate here with 2 guns. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The baseball purist drops us a super chat as well. That's very kind. We appreciate you for doing that. There's a fastball swung, and this ball is lined into left field, right to the glove of the left fielder, Helio Ramos. And that is going to do it here, as Marte is going to be gone for the 3rd out of the inning. The Mets, they threaten, but they don't score. There was no runs in the inning. There was no hits. There was an error, and there were 2 runners left aboard. Your score, as we are through a half inning, it is the Mets 0 and the Giants coming to bat. We'll be around in just a couple moments. Old school radio broadcast style on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a little bit right after this little timeout.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the top of the order coming back here for the Giants in inning number 1. That'll be Ramos, Devers, and Adames to face David Peterson here tonight. Battle of the lefties. New York staying with the road Grays. Worked for them last night. Might as well stay with what's hot tonight. Peterson on the season with a 6-4 record, 2.90 ERA, and 115 innings of work. And the pitch is a breaking ball that is swung on and missed. The count is quickly 0-1 to Ramos. Ramos hitting .270, 14 homers, and 50 runs batted in. As he had swung and lost his bat. The bat went further than the ball. That actually went past Matt Williams down there at third base. So the ball's 1 strike to the left fielder of the Giants. Went back to the dugout to get a little bit more pine tar, as he is going to be working with that a little bit more. Frank Gracie Lynn. It's good to see that somebody south of the 49th parallel is actually watching the Canadian Football League. I'm not so sure it even exists. It's a very niche market in British Columbia. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-1. Certain areas of the country, it is really well supported. I really don't know how it survives sometimes. In British Columbia, there's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count's 1-2. There's only, I'm not sure exact numbers today, but I think there's only 54 high school teams in the entire province that play. As the pitch is on the way, there's a fastball that swung on and lifted foul down the right field line. Count is 1-2. So unfortunately, there's not a lot of money floats around in BC. The big support would be more in the prairies and in the Ontario and Quebec region for that sport. So here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded over to short, fielded on the run by Lindor. He fires to first. It's going to retire Ramos on a ground out, 6-3 for the first out of the innings. So one up and one away here for the Giants. It's going to bring Rafael Devers to the plate. Gracie Lynn says, what's the biggest blockbuster trade this deadline you could see reasonably happening? I don't know if it's a blockbuster, but I think the Pirates are probably going to make some moves. There was a lot of talk about the third baseman, Brian Hayes, getting dealt. First pitch fastball from Peterson swung on and lifted foul. The count is quickly 0-1. There's some teams that are buyers and sellers, and some teams that are just going to be pure sellers. Some teams will be pure buyers. There's a fastball that misses inside. I don't know if Eugenio Suarez, the Diamondbacks, would be moved. I'm a bit mixed on that. I've heard that the Diamondbacks may not move him. Interesting that they moved Naylor. I guess they moved Randall Grichuk today. There was a fastball swung on it as being grounded past the third baseman, Mark Vientos, into left field. Good piece of hitting there by Devers as he goes the other way. He's got himself a one-out single, and that's going to bring up the shortstop in Willie Adames. Yeah, certain parts of the country will dictate a little bit on how they support the game. That is for sure. There's a fastball swung on and fouled off into the feet of Adames, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and one strike. But back to the blockbuster trades. I think, again, the Pirates are going to be players, whether it be Mitch Keller. I think that could be somebody else as well. As the pitch is on the way, there's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes even at 1-1. So I do think that there is some opportunities for teams. I think the Tigers, I mentioned it last night, I think the Tigers have to be a buyer, and they need to be buyers quickly. And it doesn't have to be a big deal, as there is a fastball that misses down. Count is now 2-1 to Adames. The biggest thing is they have to change it up. The Blue Jays won for the third straight time against Detroit today. The Tigers only had 2 hits in the ballgame. They had one of them in the 9th inning as they had cashed their run across. There's a fastball that misses outside. It's now 3-1 to Adames. I don't know if the Cubs are going to be big players at the deadline. I wonder if they do anything. It's just going to be a minor tweak. I think the Texas Rangers could be both buyers and sellers. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. It's now full count to Adames. I would also think that, for the right price, Mason Miller could be had out of the Athletics. His name's been bounced around in the marketplace quite a bit. And I just get the feeling with the Guardians being around 500 right now, I wouldn't be surprised that they make a couple of moves. But I think they also could be on both ends of the spectrum, buyers and sellers. There's a fastball that misses up and away, and that's going to be ball 4 to Adames. He's going to get himself a base on balls. Devers is going to advance to second, and that'll bring up the third baseman and Matt Chapman. But as far as somebody who's a knock your socks off, is it going to be a Juan Soto type of deal? Somebody's got to be dealt. I don't know if there's anybody there. Like, as I say, it's almost those mid-tier type of stars that they would be looking to deal again. There's a fastball that misses upstairs to Chapman. The count is 1-0. Chapman hitting .240 on the year, 14 homers, 38 runs driven in. Batting from the right side, stands very deep in the batter's box. Heading the count here as Peterson works himself to the set. Pitch on the way. Slow breaking ball taken for a called strike. Not so sure that Matt Chapman agrees with the call, but Trip Gibson said so it has to be true. Again, Peterson working himself into the set position. Here's the pitch. There's a changeup swung on line right to the third baseman, Vientos. He fires to Beatty at second. Beatty's got to pick it out of the dirt, and he does so, and that's going to be a double play. A bit of hard luck there by Matt Chapman as it's going to turn into a 5-4 double play. Chapman gone for the second out. Devers erased for out number 3, and that is going to do it here for the Giants in their half of the inning. No runs in the inning. They had a hit. There was no errors, and there was one stranded aboard. Their score as we are through one completed is 0-0. We are moving now to the top of the second. We'll be back in just a few. Hang tight, everybody. Appreciate you for being here with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Here's our friend Steve.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name, and I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
Thank you, Steve. And if you get a chance, head over to his channel, check him out, give him a sub. He produces something every single day, and he really doesn't get the love that he deserves. Steve is an eclectic guy, and he really supports our channel. We appreciate him and all his support. We'll be back in 45 seconds after this musical timeout. Welcome back, everyone. We are moving to the top of the second inning. It is going to be the 6, 7, and 8 hitters to come to bat for the Mets. That means Brett Beatty, Mark Vientos, and Francisco Alvarez. And the first pitch from Robbie Ray is a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is quickly 0-1. Ray threw 26 pitches in the first inning, only 13 of them 4 strikes, as he is facing Beatty here for the first time this evening. Ray rocking himself into the windup and delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Interesting to see. I don't know if Ray has his best stuff. He hasn't certainly locked in yet in this early going here, making his 22nd start of the year. There's a changeup that is swung on and missed. The count now goes to 1-2 on Beatty. Thing I will say is I don't know. The rule of thumb is about 10-mile difference between your fastball and your changeup. I don't know if Robbie Ray quite has that. It's more about a 7 or 8 mile an hour difference from his top fastball. Here comes the 1-2 pitch as he kicks and fires. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into straightaway center field. Camping out underneath it is Lee, just in front of the warning track, and he's there to make the catch. And there is one away here to begin the second inning, and that's going to bring up the third baseman in Mark Vientos. Fred Gracie Lynn says the CFL is very popular in the U.S. Saw some numbers showing over 300,000 are averaging on American TVs for a national game. Doesn't sound like much, but only 12% of Americans. There's the pitch on the way. There's a fastball that swung on and missed. The count is quickly 0-1. I will say this, though, that Americans love their football, and it doesn't matter if it's the UFL or the USFL or the whatever it might be. People will tune in to watch. There's a fastball that misses inside, and the count goes even at 1-1. One of the things I found fascinating, I was talking to a supplier of ours, and they were saying that football is on the decline in the state of Georgia. There's a fastball swung on. It's lifted into straightaway center field. Another one in front of the warning track hauled in by Jung-Hoo Lee, and that is going to retire Vientos for the second out of the inning. So 2 gone. It's going to bring up the catcher in Francisco Alvarez. But the sport that is taking off in Georgia, the fastest growing team sport, is lacrosse. And I found that to be staggering. And they said football's on the decline. A lot of parents are pulling their kids out of football because of the concussions. As Robbie Ray kicks and delivers, and the first pitch is a breaking ball that misses outside. The count is 1-0. They were saying that lacrosse, or at least football, because they want to play a physical game, but what they don't want to do is they still want to be able to keep the kids away from being concussed, as that breaking ball misses down, and the count's now 2-0 to Alvarez. Check that. 1-1 to Alvarez. And the 1-1 on the way. It is a fastball swung on and tap foul right at home plate. The count now goes to 1-2. So they want the physical contact, but a sport where the concussions are reduced. Gracie Lynn says, even arena ball is experiencing a boom. I always forget about arena ball. I can't even remember. I don't even know if there's a team in the Northwest. Ray ready to go again. He gets the sign from Kinsner, and he kicks and delivers. There is a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep right field. This ball is going to carry. This ball is going to travel, and it's going to go off the wall, and it's going to pinball around. Ramos or Alvarez rounding second and heading to third. Luis Matos struggling with it off the wall. That's going to be a triple off the bat of Alvarez. That came out of nowhere. The ball just kept carrying and carrying and carrying, and by the time it hit the wall, Luis Matos had his struggles with it. And so Francisco Alvarez with a 2-out triple. That's going to bring up the center fielder and Tyrone Taylor. First, the way that when he hit it, I thought, well, this might be a ball that he's going to have to go and get. And the ball just kept carrying and carrying and carrying. It might be something that could ignite the Mets catcher, who early in the season was sent down for some extra work down in the minors. Here's the first pitch now delivered to Taylor. It's a slow breaking ball that misses outside. The count is 1-0. Again, the lefty working himself into the set position. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and fouled away. Looks like a caught Trip Gibson, kind of funny there. So 1 strike. The cost of going to the NFL games is unbelievable these days. For one ticket, at least one ticket in Seattle, you're looking at, $200-$300 for a ticket. I know Detroit, with their run last year, their ticket prices have gone off the charts. And there's two things. I can sit back at home and watch it on TV, and I don't even do that these days. So Tyrone Taylor digging in here. And the pitch on the way is a fastball that swung on and fouled away, and the count is now 1-2 to Taylor. I remember seeing a game. It was after September 11th of 2001. I was in Chicago. I saw the Bears and the 49ers, one of the best games. It was around Halloween. One of the best NFL games I'd ever been to, a regular season game. Fantastic game. The Bears were down 15 going to the fourth quarter. They tied it up, took it to overtime, and Mike Brown had a pick six in overtime to win the game for Chicago, as that pitch is fouled away, and the count is 1-2. That was at the Soldier Field before it was remodeled, and it was kind of interesting. We were standing right at the top, and you could look to your right and see where the old stadium was still partially there. They built it within it. Soldier Field, a great venue to see a game. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball misses down, and it's 2-2, or was a great venue. So 2 strikes. Try to get around to as many parks as I possibly can, see as many venues as I can. It's always great fun. As the pitch on the way, there's a breaking ball that's down. Did he go? Yes, he did, says home plate umpire Trip Gibson. And the catcher, Kinsner, is going to apply the tag, and Taylor is gone on strikes for the third out of the inning. They strand the two-out triple by Alvarez. There was no runs, one hit in the inning, no errors, and one runner left aboard. Your score, as we are now moving to the bottom half of inning number 2, it is where we started, the Mets nothing and the Giants nothing. We'll be back in just a few. Our friend Gracie Lynn is getting excited for the football season, and we're glad to have her with us here tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be right back after this.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OPC baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Appreciate you there, Steve, and the support you give to our channel. It is going to be Wilmer Flores, Casey Schmidt, and Jung Hoo Lee to come to bat here in the bottom of inning number 2, as it is the Mets and the Giants head-to-head here. Our friend Gracie Lynn said, if you're wondering where Westphalia, Costa Rica is, it's on the Caribbean coast, southeast Limon province. If I wasn't going to Taiwan, and at the end of the year, the plan is to go to Vietnam, I'd go down to Costa Rica and hang out with you on a beach for a week. But unfortunately, my travel plans are kind of etched a little bit right now in stone. There's a breaking ball that misses down to Wilmer Flores, and the count is 1-0. 4 weeks from today, we'll be on our way to Taiwan. Looking forward to seeing that part of the world. Peterson rocking into the windup. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count now goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Peterson getting his sign, rocking and delivering. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 2-1. Flores hitting .242, 12 homers, 59 RBIs. And he was a one-time New York Met, very popular player. There's a breaking ball swung on it. It's going to be lined in the left field. It's going to get down for a base hit in front of the left fielder, Nimmo. And Flores is aboard with a leadoff single here to start the second inning, and that'll bring up the second baseman in Casey Schmidt. Well, for Schmidt, he's hitting .245 on the season, 5 homers and 17 RBIs. He's appearing in his 48th game of the year. Right-handed stick facing the lefty here, and the first pitch as a fastball swung on it is lifted into right field. Moving over underneath it is Soto. He's there to make the catch. The sun has all of a sudden decided to come out. And now Schmidt is gone for the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up the center fielder in Jung Hoo Lee. Gracie Lynn says she's only on the beach for a couple days. She lives in that other area. I prefer the West Coast when I've been to Costa Rica, up and down that side there. There is a fastball that misses inside. They appeal over to the third base umpire, Marvin Hudson. But they say Lee didn't go. 1 ball and no strikes. Gracie Lynn says, on a quiet dirt road with no neighbors for a quarter mile, that's the best kind of neighbors to have. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is going to be lined into left field as Lee goes the other way for a base hit. And he's aboard with a single that's going to advance Flores over to second. So the Giants have got something brewing here in the bottom half of inning number 2. It's going to bring the right fielder Luis Matos to the plate. I used to say a number of years ago, the best neighbors are the ones who live a shotgun blast away. Anybody closer than that gets into the firing range. So that brings Matos to the plate. He's hitting 173. He's got 5 homers and 13 runs driven in. Right-handed hitting right fielder of the Giants gets himself dug in, and the Peterson in his first bit of trouble here. Kicks and delivers. Fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Matos. Matos getting the start in right field as was Mike Yastrzemski was the starter in last night's game. Lefty Peterson checks the runner Flores at second, now delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on, grounded to second. Beatty goes to short for 1, back to first, and that's going to be a double play. And that is going to, or is it not going to do it here? That's going to do it. Pete Alonso doesn't know the outs, but we're going to wait to see if that is going to be challenged. And no, it's not. So that is going to be a double play of the 4-6-3 variety. And that will do it here for the Giants in their half of the inning. Well, there was no runs in the inning. There were a couple of hits. There were no errors, and there was 1 runner left aboard. Your score, as we move ourselves to the top of the 3rd inning, it is all locked up at zeros. And we will be back in just a few as our friend Steve Rodmacher will keep you guys entertained, as he does with all of us here. Top of the 3rd, just around the corner. We'll be right back after this.
Oh, hello. Oh, hey. Yep. I'm just sitting here listening to Freddie call another game here on YouTube. Oh, yeah, going really good. He's calling a great game, really exciting, lots of stuff going on. You're lucky it's commercial break right now. I got a second. Oh, yeah, of course I'm having a cold one. Oh, yeah, got plenty of videos coming up this week. You should stop in, check them out, leave a like, tell other people. But, Freddie's coming back. I got to go catch the game. I will check in with you later. You have a good night, buddy. Bye.
Welcome back, everybody. It'll be the top of the order to come to bat here for the Mets in inning number 3. That means Brandon Nimmo, Frankie Lindor, and Juan Soto to face the lefty Robbie Ray, who has delivered 43 pitches in his first 2 innings of work. The Mets have been making him work for sure, although that couldn't be said for Nimmo in his first at-bat as he lined out to the left fielder on the first pitch that he saw. So Nimmo standing in, 0 for 1 tonight, as Robbie Ray rocks and delivers, and the first pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Friend Gracie Lynn said she benched Nimmo in her fantasy league today, so hope he has a terrible game. No disrespect. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away. Count is 1-1. I'm a bit mixed in some things. Obviously, the fantasy sports of baseball, it's great that they have fantasy sports. It keeps people engaged in the game. Right down to the final out, people are watching because of the stats. On the flip side of the coin, I was commenting or alluding to a little bit the other night about some of the abuse that the players are taking on social media. There's a breaking ball swung on. This is lifted into deep left center field. Moving back onto the edge of the warning track and hauling it in is Jung-Hoo Lee. Nimmo is going to be gone for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up the shortstop in Frankie Lindor. And our friend CV Baseball Card Collector is in the house. Caesar, nice to have you in here with us. Hope you're doing good. I was just starting to say about some of the social media. There was a pitcher for the Tigers, Dietrich Enns. Dietrich Enns was with the Saitama Cebu Lions in 2023 and 2022. Last year, he spent some time in the KBO. As Ray kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball swung on and missed. The count is quickly 0-1 to Lindor. And the problem is that the players will just get attacked when they don't pitch very well. It's absolute, there's just venom from the people. And we're talking about, in most cases, adults. So here comes the 0-1 pitch to Lindor as Ray delivers a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes even to 1-1. And the pitch that's on the way, another fastball. This one swung on and it's lifted into right field. Drifting over to his left and now moving back onto the warning track is Matos, and that's going to retire Lindor for the second out. So 2 gone here in the third inning. It's going to leave it all up to Juan Soto. Soto 0 for 1. Bounced into a fielder's choice his last time up. Just looking right now at the putouts in this game, so far there have been, the outs have been one of the 8 outs recorded so far by Ray. One has been by strikeout as that breaking ball is taken for a called strike. But that is 5, check that, 6 fly ball outs. There's only been 1 ball that has been put on the ground for an out here. So Robbie Ray, the beneficiary of some San Francisco wins to keep the ball in the park. There's a fastball that misses down and away, and the count goes even at 1-1. Yeah, absolutely. If you are going to gamble on games, you only bet what you can afford to lose. There's a breaking ball swung on, grounded softly over to second. Fielded by Schmidt, he throws to first, and Soto off for a jog down the line. He's gone for the third out of the inning. And that'll do it here for the Mets in their half of the third. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now through 2.5. Your score is the Mets nothing and the Giants nothing. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a few, as it is the Mets and the Giants after this.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OPC baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the last half of the third inning. It's going to be the 9-1 and 2 hitters to come to bat for the Giants. Andrew Kisner at the top of the order, Helio Ramos and Rafael Devers, 9-1 and 2 to come to bat in the third inning. So Kisner, Ramos, and Devers to bat here in inning number 3. Our friend Gracie Lynn says, if you took that money in your backyard, set it on fire, and you got upset that you lost it, it's the same amount of money that it's too much to bet on a sporting bet. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's the same thing like going to the casinos. People that go to the casinos. I haven't been in a casino now probably in about, that would be around, maybe in the pandemic. I think I went one night as a first pitch breaking ball misses to Kisner. So ball 1 here to him. I think that I went one night, as I said, during the pandemic or after the pandemic was done, breaking ball taken for a called strike. So that's about 5 years ago. But again, if you're going to go with whatever you go with, you kind of expect that you're probably going to lose, or potentially you're going to lose. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is. Kisner goes for a little tour and he resets himself. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Peterson rocks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses up and away, and the count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Again, the lefty delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded softly over to the third base side. Peterson comes off the mound to field it. He fires it. It's offline. Alonso makes the grab and he tags the runner. We're going to get a look at this is the third time tonight they've panned over to Bob Melvin. And the third time tonight, Melvin is given the cutthroat sign. He's not going to look at there. A nice play by Alonso to field it and apply the tag. Goes as a ground out 1-3 for the first out of the inning. It's going to bring up the top of the order in Helio Ramos. So a nice play there by the first baseman Alonso. And here comes the pitch. Fastball misses up and away, and the count is quickly 1-0. CV says, I'll be there Wednesday when the Pirates roll into town. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 2-0. Is that in L.A. where the Angels play? Can't remember the last time the Pirates were in Los Angeles. Fastball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike as the lefty Peterson rocks and delivers. Breaking ball swung on, grounded on 1 hop over to short, fielded by Lindor. He fires to first, and that's going to be a ground out. It's going to go in the book 6-3 for the second out of the inning. As CV says, San Francisco. Yeah, he's going to San Francisco to see. That's pretty cool. Haya Shahai, I don't know if I said that right. He says, can the Giants win? Yeah, the Giants, to be truthful, they are the team in the top spot. As the first pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is quickly 0-1 to Devers. They have the best pitcher on the mound, in my opinion, and I know some of our others may not necessarily agree with that. And the pitch is a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Devers. Robbie Ray, I think, is a better pitcher than Peterson, although I have to tip my hat and say Peterson's had a really good year this year. Fastball swung on, grounded up the middle, fielded on the second base side of second by Lindor. He throws to first, and a great pick by Alonso, who's having a great defensive game at first base. That's the third play in 3 innings that he has made tonight for the Mets that has been absolutely Gold Glove worthy. That's going to go down as a ground out 6-3 to end the inning, and that is going to do it here for the Giants in their half of the third. They go in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are through a third of the ball game here. It is where we started, 0-0. We'll be back in just a few after this from our friend Matt.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Thank you to our friend Matt Hollis, as we are going to be cruising now to the top of the 4th inning. It'll be the heart of the order to come to bat for the Mets. It'll be Pete Alonso, Starling Marte, and Brent Beatty, as they will be facing Robbie Ray here to begin his 4th inning work. 52 pitches for the San Francisco lefty, as he made quick work of the Mets in their half of the top of the 3rd. And we are ready to resume the action. As it will be the Polar Bear coming to bat. The first pitch is a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is quickly 0-1. Alonso reached on an error his first time up. It was a fielding error a throwing error by the third baseman, Matt Chapman. As Ray kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on, another one fouled away. And the count now Is it 0-2 to Alonso? Gracie Lynn says she's loving this. The Dodgers lost again today to the Red Sox, as they are definitely playing in Boston right now. Although the Dodgers won yesterday, as that pitch is swung on another one. Check his swing. It's going to be 1-2 to Alonso. Pitch just ended up trickling away. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball swung on. This is going to be lined into right field past the glove of the first baseman, Devers, as Matos gets over to pick it up, and that's going to be a single. He's got himself a leadoff single here, does Alonso, and it's going to bring Starling Marte to the plate. Lynn says, what's going on with the Dodgers? Well, the Dodgers are pretty top-heavy, and their pitching has been, I guess, brutally honest. They've had a lot of injuries. You think of the amount of money they spend over there. They've got tons of money that they've been putting into their arms, as that first pitch is a fastball that misses down. 1-0 to Marte. Marte had lined to left field his first time up. Batting from the right side here against the lefty Ray. Kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is hammered down the left field line past the diving third baseman Chapman. Picking it up is Ramos. Cruising into third is going to be Alonso, and into second with a double is Marte. And now the Mets have got something brewing, as they got runners at second and third with nobody out. And just as we say that, Steve Rademacher shows up. Good to have you with us there, Steve. We only request that you keep your shirt on for all of the action here, Steve. I know he likes to run around with his chest painted up sometimes. Gracie Lynn says the Dodgers have an injury list rotation that is better than a healthy rotation. Absolutely, they do. 100%. So the lefty Robbie Ray trying to get himself out of this jam. Here's the first offering, and it is a breaking ball. Take it for a called strike. Count is 0-1 to Beatty. Beatty 0 for 1 today. Flew out to center field his first time up. Getting the start again here tonight. As the lefty kicks and delivers, and there is a breaking ball swung on and fouled into the shin guard of Beatty, and the count now goes to 0-2. Gracie Lynn said the Marlins won again. Yeah, and they beat the Brewers. They did it a little bit late there. They had scored 3 in the 5th and 2 in the 6th. When I peeked in earlier, I think it was like a 3-3 game or a 4-4 game, something along those lines. And here's the pitch from Ray. It's a breaking ball that misses up and away. Count is 1-2. Yeah, unfortunately for our resident Brewer fan in here, Steve Rademacher, the fish have come in and have been the fighting fish. Those Marlins have been tough. So here comes the 1-2 pitch as Ray kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on it. Is tapped softly over on the first base side. Oh, Devers, I don't know what you're doing. He came off the bag. He was nowhere near the bag. Ray fielded it, flipped it to him, and he was about a good solid 4 feet from first base. Even if he would have caught the ball, he wouldn't have been able to make the play. And then he tried to have a sweeping tag. That's the inexperience of Devers over there at first base. He came to get the ball, and then nobody was at the bag as Ray had come off and was able to field it. And so safe at first base is Beatty. I'm going to see how they're going to field this one. I would have to think he's going to be safe. I don't think it's going to be an error because he was nowhere near the base, was Devers on that one. I'll wait to see what they give Beatty. That is going to keep the bases loaded here in this situation. And it's going to bring the third baseman, Mark Vientos, to the plate. But at the same time, it's brought Kinsner out to the mound with Matt Chapman to have a discussion with Robbie Ray. So bases are full. That is going to go as a single for Beatty. Bases are full of Mets. Nobody out here in the top of the 4th inning. Gracie Lynn is predicting a wild card team for the Marlins. And there is a breaking ball swung on and tap foul over on the third base side. Well, I think Gracie Lynn is suffering from some sunstroke in that Costa Rican sun. I'm not so sure that they are going to pull it together for a wild card run. They'd have to really pick it up. I just don't see that happening. But it is always possible, but they're going to have to go on a run like the Brewers just had or like the Blue Jays are doing to really give themselves a opportunity. That breaking ball misses down and the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Certainly don't go on a stretch like the Tigers have gone on. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on and lifted, foul over on down the right field line, and the count is 1-2. Yeah, so 19-4. Yeah, the Fish are going to have to continue to swim because they dug themselves a pretty deep hole. Maybe they're this year's Arizona Diamondbacks from a couple of years ago. You never know. There's a breaking ball that misses down and the count goes to 2-2, or like last year's Detroit Tigers after the early August, they went on an absolute tear. Did Detroit? Here comes the 2-2 pitch to Vientos. Ray kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on and missed. Vientos down on strikes. That's a huge strikeout here by Robbie Ray. 1 gone here, and that'll bring up the catcher and Francisco Alvarez. So if you're going to get yourself out of your seat, that is one to get out of your seat for if you're a Giants fan. Bases full of Mets. He strikes out Vientos, and that is going to bring up the catcher and Francisco Alvarez. Alvarez is 1 for 1. He tripled in the second inning. Now time has been called here. 4 pitches even thrown. I think that was an offensive timeout for Alvarez. Batting from the right side here against the lefty Ray, who kicks and delivers. There's a slow breaking ball missing down and away, and the count is 1-0. 1 ball and no strikes. Gracie Lynn points out on this date in 2021, the Braves were 49-52. They were worse than the Marlins are currently. They went on to win the World Series. Well, there's a breaking ball swung on, grounded over to third. Chapman fields it. He steps on the bag at third. He throws to first. And Devers, with a good pick over at first base, is able to get it. It's going to be a 5-3 double play. And that is going to do it. I wonder if they're going to take a quick peek at this because it sure looked like Devers may have come off the base a little soon. But it doesn't look like it. They're going to commercial. So erased at third for the second out is Marte. And Robbie Ray able to get himself out of a bases-loaded jam here in the 4th inning. There was no runs in the inning. There were 3 hits. There were no errors, and there was 2 runners left aboard. Your score as we move to the bottom of the 4th inning. We're still at 0s, and we'll be back in just a few after this. It is Mets and Giants locked at 0s when we return.
Well, you got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just 1 roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
That is our friend Matt Hollis. Check him out after the game. He is a supporter of our channel, and we like to support him as well. We'll be back at 30 after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters to come to bat for the Giants. That means Adames, Chapman, and Flores. You face the left-hander David Peterson. Our friend Gracie Lynn says that 18-0, the Orioles beat the Rocks, ends the largest shutout in O's franchise history. Also ends the 6 of 7 wins that the Rocks have had coming out of the All-Star break, as that breaking ball is taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. I said in last night's stream, I don't believe that the Rockies will lose 120 games. There's a breaking ball lifted foul into the seats over on the first base side. No balls and 2 strikes. I do believe that they are going to... I certainly believe that they are going to get some wins that will not put them in that Chicago White Sox that bad area, as there's a fastball swung on and lined into right field. Adames is aboard with a leadoff single. But yeah, the Rockies, as far as I'm concerned, they're going to be able to do that. What a play there by Chapman. We're getting the replays of that. But also a good pick by Rafi Devers over there at first to end that last half inning. Pretty impressive stuff. Be a backbreaker if the Giants could come back and get a couple of runs here. Here's the first pitch to Chapman. It's a fastball swung on. This is lined into center field for a base hit. So back-to-back singles here by the Giants. Adames stops at second. Chapman is aboard at first. That's going to bring the DH Wilmer Flores to the plate. Gracie Lynn says the Braves lost again and the Rangers walked it off in the 10th. If you're going to see a team catch fire, I keep your eye on the Texas Rangers. I just have a feeling that they're a team here. But obviously, they're a couple of years removed from a World Series, but I could see them going on a bit of a run. Nathan Eovaldi's been pitching great. Jacob deGrom. I don't think they're going to be sellers. There's a breaking ball that misses outside. The count is 1-0 to Flores. If there's a team that could catch fire, it could be Texas. Flores batting here. He's 1 for 1 today. He singled his last time up. As Peterson kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on. It's lifted foul into the seats down the first base line, and the count goes to 1-1. Earlier, our friend CV said he's going to be in San Fran to see the Pirates play. I think that would be pretty cool, actually. I wanted to get down last year, and I had to make some changes to my plans to go to San Fran as that breaking ball misses down and in, and the count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Flores batting from the right side here against the left-handed throwing Peterson. As he gets the sign and he works himself into the set position, checks the runner at second, now delivers. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 2-2 on Flores. Why do I just get this feeling here that both of these teams are just against the 2 starters underachieving? Last half inning, they load the bases to the Mets, and they can't come away with a single run. There's a breaking ball waved at and missed. That was a wild swing by Flores. He's down on strikes for the first out of the inning. It's going to bring up the second baseman in Casey Schmidt. Gracie Lynn says she'd like to see a game in San Fran. It's just the thought of going there. Yeah, San Fran has had its pockmarks. Unfortunately, the downtown area has really picked up a really poor reputation. It's too bad. And the first pitch is a breaking ball that is swung through and missed. We have had some customers that have been there in the last couple of years, and you're tripping over the people in the streets, the fentanyl issues, the drugs, the homelessness, the theft. As the pitch is on its way, there's a breaking ball swung on and grounded foul down the first baseline. The count is now 0-2 on Schmidt. So you kind of got to pick your poison, so to speak, of where you want to go and stay with it. Although I have also had people that have gone to San Fran and absolutely love it. But you got to keep your wits about you. Not just for the baseball or the football, but just in general, if you're going to Alcatraz, wherever you're headed, Fisherman's Wharf. As the pitch is on the way, it's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 1-2. Especially people, driving their vehicles, a lot of theft. Same thing in this area here, depending on where you're at, you have to keep your wits about you, because if you go and you park, you can have your windows smashed, and it might be all over a couple of dollars that are sitting in the change area of the vehicle. That fastball misses up to Schmidt, and it's now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Casey Schmidt. Runner at second is Adames. Runner at first is Chapman. There is 1 gone here in the 4th inning. As the lefty Peterson checks the runner at second, now delivers. There's a breaking ball that bounces up to the plate. The count now goes to 3-2 on Schmidt. Interesting, they say 29% of the baseball fans in the area won't go to the park due to security concerns. Yeah, never leave anything in your cup holders or in your dash. Yeah, that's definitely the case. As the lefty holds set, and now he does a spaghetti move that chases the runner Adames back to second. So 3 balls and 2 strikes it remains here to Schmidt. Peterson getting the sign, working himself into the set. And the pitch on the way is a breaking ball that misses inside for ball 4. That's going to load the bases. So the bases are now loaded. It's going to bring Jung-Hoo Lee to the plate. And so Lee, who had a couple of hits in last night's game, had another one here today. Starting to pick up the pace a little bit. Comes to the plate with an opportunity to drive in some runs. That is going to bring the pitching coach out of the New York dugout. And that is going to do it here as that conference is over. We'll go back to the live action. So runner at third is Adames, runner at second Chapman, runner at first Casey Schmidt, Jung-Hoo Lee coming to the plate. Batting .251 now on the season. He's got himself 6 homers and 41 RBIs, and he tries to drag a bunt down the first base line, and that's going to go foul. Very interesting there. Lee looking to do what the Koreans and the Asians are known for, and that's bunting. Bases loaded, drag bunt down the first base line. That'll get everybody on their toes. As Peterson kicks and delivers, there's a fastball that misses inside. It moves Lee off the plate, and that count goes even at 1-1. That might have been a better pitch to potentially bunt. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Jung-Hoo Lee as the lefty Peterson kicks and fires. There's a breaking ball swung on, and it's fouled away right off the catcher Alvarez, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Our friend Gracie Lynn drops us a super chat. Appreciate you for doing that. I'll make sure that gets into the cup holder. As the lefty Peterson now kicks and fires, there's a fastball swung on. It's grounded to the right side. They go to second for 1, and that's all they're going to get. It's going to be a fielder's choice and an RBI for Lee. That's going to bring in the first run of the ball game. He's safe at first. Schmidt is erased 4-6 at second. But in to score the first run of the game is going to be Adames, as Chapman will stop at third. And there's now 2 away here in the inning. So high fives all the way around as the Giants have broken the ice here in the 4th inning. So that is going to bring Luis Matos to the plate. And for Matos, he is 0 for 1 tonight. He grounded into a double play his first time up. It was of the 4.63 variety. He's got a chance here to knock in another run, and he swings at a first pitch fastball and pops it up behind second base. Underneath it is the second baseman Beatty, and he's going to make the catch, and that is going to do it for out number 3. But the Giants get on the board. I'm sure they probably would have wanted more. They had 1 run in the inning on the benefit of 2 hits. There were no errors, and there were 2 left stranded. We're now through 4 complete. Your score is the Giants 1 and the Mets no score. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. It is the old school radio broadcast on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be right back after this from our friend, Steve Rademacher.
Thank you for that introduction, Freddie. Hey guys, Steve coming back at you today, and every day is opening day on my channel. I open everything from hot sauce to beer to deviled eggs to cans of soup to ravioli to sport card packs that you wouldn't believe. I open blasters of stuff. I open regular boxes of stuff. Speaking of hot sauce, I open hot sauce, which is often gifted to me from the community. I have it all. I open up Star Wars by the tons, including the Family Guy Star Wars. I have a bunch of wrestling that I do open. And I do non-sport cards like crazy. As you can see, we have it all. I even open Marvel. Tons and tons of Marvel cards. But you never know, on my channel, you just may have a little trouble with tribbles, too. Remember, opening day, every day. Thank you, Freddie. See you in Funny Pages, guys.
Welcome back, everybody. By popular demand, it will be the Marines and the Fighters tonight at 10 o'clock Pacific, 1 a.m. Eastern if you are around. We'll be back to the NPB and Japan for that. Well, the Giants now have a 1-0 lead as Robbie Ray will start here the top of the 5th inning. It'll be the 9, 1, and 2 hitters to come to bat. And that is going to be Taylor, Nimmo, and Lindor. Greasy Lynn says, is that a new one from Steve? That's been buried in the MLB section. Steve's got some that I just run through on the NPB and some that I just run on the Major League games. As the first pitch breaking ball misses down to Taylor, and the count is 1-0. Taylor 0 for 1 today. Struck out in his first at bat. We're just talking earlier before the game. I talked to Steve briefly and said, I think we're due for a new one, as there's a pitch that misses outside, and the count is now 2-0. 2 balls and no strikes. Ray rocking and delivering. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count now goes to 2-1. Hut is Great says, I prefer the Ohtani game. Have to negotiate that one, that's for certain. So Ray ready to go again. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. It's going to be lifted foul down the first base side. Count now 2-2 to Taylor. Taylor, a former Milwaukee Brewer, making his home with the Mets, getting the center field nod as the pitch is on the way. Fastball swung on and fought off. He fouls that one away over on the first base side. And the count remains at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Again, Ray getting his sign from his catcher, Kisner, and he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on, and yet another one fouled away. So this is turning into the battle here, as that is 6 pitches now here in the at-bat. It was 69 pitches through 4 innings for Ray. One would have to think at this pace they'll be fortunate to get a full 6 out of him, as that breaking ball misses down, and the count now runs full to Taylor at 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Kind of curious and interested to see a little bit on the Fighters and the Marines. There's a fastball taken for a called third strike under the hands. Oh, Taylor stood there like the house by the side of the road. He watched it go by for out number 1, and that'll bring up the top of the order in Brandon Nimmo. Gracie says, luckily, Ray and Weber, 2 guys who can throw a large volume of pitches. Yeah, that is correct. So that brings Nimmo to the plate 0 for 2 tonight. He's flown to left and flown to center in his 2 trips. And the first pitch fastball is swung on and lifted foul down the third baseline. And the count is quickly 0-1. I would think that they're probably, you can get 6 innings out of him. They will turn it over to the pen. As Ray rocks himself into the delivery, and there is a fastball swung on it, is grounded over to first. Fielded by Devers, he loses it. He plays soccer with it, and then he picks it up and steps on the bag. Oh boy, an adventure over there at first base for Raffy Devers, but he's able to get the out. He's got a big smile on his face. Robbie Ray has a big smile on his face, and the fans in the attendance for the Giants are gasping. He pushed it forward. That was kind of funny. So he fielded it into his belly, and then he rolled it toward the bag, and then he picked it up and made the play. So ground out to 3 for the second out of the inning, and that is going to bring up the shortstop, Francisco Lindor. And the first pitch to Lindor is a fastball that's taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Interesting. Well, looks like we got a dust up in St. Louis. Sounds like the Padres and the Cardinals are renewing old hardships. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball swung on and missed. Count goes to 0-2 on Lindor. So if you're looking for a highlight or looking for a brawl, I don't know if the bench is empty. I kind of get, I haven't seen an ugly brawl in a while. As the pitch is on the way, there's a fastball that is knife foul over on the first base side. The count is 0-2. I think it had to do with Contreras yesterday, the catcher for the Cardinals. I didn't see any of the highlights, so I didn't pick any up, but definitely we'll have to take a look after this game. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on. This ball is belted into deep center field. Moving back on it in front of the track is Lee's there to make the catch, and that is going to do it, as that is going to retire the Mets here in their half of the 5th inning. Well, they go in order, 1, 2, 3. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. We are now halfway through this ball game. Your score is the Giants 1 and the Mets no score. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a moment. I got to put the music on loop. I got to take a little extended timeout. This is almost like doing a Japanese game. We'll be right back after this timeout. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving ourselves to the bottom half of inning number 5. We had to take a little extended break there in this one. And coming to bat here before the Giants will be Andrew Kisner, top of the order, Helio Ramos, and Rafael Devers. Giants have themselves a 1-0 lead. They scored in the bottom of the 4th inning. After an RBI fielder's choice off the bat at Jung-Hoo Lee brought home Willie Adames with the first and only run of the ball game. So here we go. We are ready to get this one back underway. Our friend Steve Rademacher back in the house. Great to have you here with us tonight, Steve. And by the way, did like his short the other day. That was kind of cool. And certainly some of the potato chips that you had there, Steve. Even cooler as well. The first pitch breaking ball that is delivered to Kinsler, taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Kisner 0 for 1 today, grounded to the pitcher his first time up as he swings through a breaking ball, and the count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Steve Rademacher produced a short, and it's all kinds of different potato chips. There is Mr. Met in the stands tonight, getting the high fives all the way around. Interesting that the mascot has made the road trip to San Francisco. So here comes the 0-2 pitch from Peterson, and it is a breaking ball swung on and tap foul over on the third base side. The count remains at 0-2 to Kisner. You see that in the Japanese league that they have a lot of the mascots will make the road trip to the other teams. As there is a fastball that's upstairs, they appeal down to the first base umpire, and Ryan Blakeney says that Kisner has gone around. He's going to be gone for the first out of the innings, so 1 up and 1 away. It's going to bring up the left fielder in Helio Ramos. Japanese league, they do come, and here we are getting pictures all the way around. Mr. Met is doing his best. There is a breaking ball that misses up and away, and the count is 1-0 to Ramos. But you don't always see that in Major League Baseball, especially when the geography is that far apart. They're going coast to coast. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into right center field. It's going to get down. There to cut it off is the center fielder, Taylor, and he's going to fire it back in. That's going to hold Ramos to a long single. It's going to bring up the first baseman and Rafi Devers. So Devers coming to the plate. He's 1 for 2 tonight. He has a single, and he is grounded to short in his 2 trips. As the lefty Peterson kicks and delivers, the first pitch is a fastball swung through and missed, and the count is 0-1. So the ball's 1 strike. It's just getting a little bit used to seeing Devers in a Giants uniform. He started with an absolutely horrendous start with the Red Sox. He was absolutely terrible. As he swings through a breaking ball, and the count is now 0-2. So to see his average climbing up, you knew he wasn't going to be that bad for that long. Devers is approaching the 270 mark now. As the lefty Peterson works to the set. Here comes the 0-2 offering. As he kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung through and missed. Devers down on strikes. He's gone for the second out of the inning. He's going to leave it all up to the shortstop and Willie Adames. For those of you who have just joined us here, all the scoring came in the 4th inning. It was Willie Adames was brought home on a fielder's choice by Jung-Hoo Lee. And that is where we stand. 1-0 for the Giants here in the bottom of the 5th. And the first pitch coming here from Peterson instead is flipped over to first base, and getting back easily is Ramos. Ramos yesterday was going with the pants up. Today he's got the pants down, trying to change up the look a little bit. And here's the pitch to Adames. It's a fastball swung on and hammered foul down the left field line, and the count is quickly 0-1. Adames has been all over the base paths today. He walked in the first and singled and scored the run in the 4th. So no balls and 1 strike to the Giants shortstop as the lefty holds himself to the set. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses up and in and backs Adames off the plate. The count now goes to 1-1. Gracie Lynn said a change of scenery for Devers is a good thing. Yeah, certainly when how they treated him. Breaking ball waved at and missed, and the count now goes to 1-2 on Adames. I mean, he's been your third baseman for the last few years. You go out and you sign Alec Bregman. I get it. You got to have an upgrade, but maybe you might want to include him in that conversation so he's mentally prepared. Not to mention they've got some prospects that are on the way, and everybody should take note. How do they treat their stars in Boston? Well, look at Mookie Betts. Look at some of the others who've been pushed out of Beantown. There's a fastball that misses inside, and the count goes to 2-2. Is that what you want to be a part of? I don't think I want to be a part of that. That's too bad because it's a great history in Boston of baseball. Here's the 2-2 offering. It is a breaking ball that misses down. It's going to be 3-2 now to Adames. So Ramos will be on the move as the count is now full to Adames here with 2 gone in the 5th inning. Peterson ready to go to work again as he holds himself set. And Now he throws over to first base, and easily getting back to the bag is Ramos. Well, now you got to believe that you're going to be off to the races here as soon as he suddenly twitches. I believe that's the second throw over here in this at bat by the lefty Peterson. Here comes the pitch. There goes the runner. It's a fastball swung on and fouled off into the feet of Adames, and the count remains at 3-2. Gracie Lynn said the fans treated him just as terribly. Yeah, it must be a lot of Philadelphia fans making their way into Boston. That's something I wouldn't expect from the Boston faithful. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball misses down. It's going to be ball 4, and Adames is going to be aboard with a walk, and that's going to put runners at first and second. So the third time tonight that Adames has reached base. A single and 2 walks, and that is going to bring up the third baseman in Matt Chapman. Well, for Chapman, he is 1 for 2. He is grounded into a double play. I should say grounded or lined into a double play. And he has also singled in his 2 trips. It's also going to be a conference on the mound here for the lefty Peterson. Peterson now up to 73 pitches so far in this one. As I mentioned before, this is going to turn into a battle of the bullpen, one would have to think, after the 6th inning. I would think both of these starters will go one more. If Robbie Ray gets more than that, I'd be shocked. So Chapman striding to the plate, 1 for 2 tonight. Gets himself dug in in the batter's box, waiting on the offering here from the lefty Peterson. Who comes to the set position, checks the runner, now delivers. There's a fastball that misses upstairs for a ball. The count is 1-0. Ramos the runner at second, Adames the runner at first. 2 gone here in the inning as the lefty again checks, now delivers. Fastball swung on, lifted foul into the seats down the first base line, and the count runs even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. As we mentioned earlier, it is going to be late night baseball tonight, 10 o'clock Pacific, 1 a.m. Eastern, as we'll be doing the Japanese League. So come one and come all. There's a breaking ball waved at and missed, and now the count goes to 1-2 on Chapman. Doubleheader of baseball on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel today. Again, the lefty Peterson getting his sign. And the 1-2 pitch coming to Matt Chapman. Checks the runner. Checks him again. Now delivers. Fastball misses upstairs, and the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, the lefty Peterson working himself to the set. And he kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count runs full to Chapman at 3-2. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Again, the righty waiting his turn here. Well, it looks like the Yankees have acquired Ahmed Rosario from the Nationals for Clayton Beeter and Broman Martinez. Interesting. Beeter had a pretty good spring training a couple years ago, couldn't make the team. And there's a breaking ball waved at and missed, and Chapman's gone on strikes for out number 3, and that's going to do it here. So Ahmed Rosario is now in a Yankee pinstripe uniform. Well, no runs in the inning. There was a hit. There was no errors, and there was 2 runners left aboard. Your scores, we're now through 5 complete. It is the Giants 1 and the Mets nothing. We'll take a deeper dive into that trade, and we'll try to keep you up to date on that as we move along. Your scores, we move to the top of the 6th inning. It is a 1-0 ball game. We'll be right back after this.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, Do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's, and
Welcome back, everybody. It is the top of the sixth inning. The Giants have a 1-0 lead over the Mets, and it'll be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters slated to come to bat for New York in their half of the inning. Soto, Alonso, and Marte to face the left-hander Robbie Ray. Robbie Ray, so far in this one here, in his 5 innings of work, he's allowed 4 hits, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. 83 pitches through his 5 innings of work, and 53 of them have been for strikes. He has settled down after a wonky first inning. The first pitch fastball is swung on and missed. Count is quickly 0-1 to Juan Soto. Friend Gracie Lynn says, baffles her that how the Yankees can complete any deals. Their farm system is trash. I don't know if it's completely trash, as there's a fastball swung on and fouled away. They just seem to be able to get the Latin players. I don't know, maybe it's the Yankee organization. Maybe it's the aura that they have. When you look at depth in organizations, I wonder what the plans for Jordan Lombard Jr. would be in New York, as he is a top-rated, I think he's their top prospect. So there's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count goes to 1-2 on Soto. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ray rocking into the windup. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count now goes to 2-2 on Soto. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Soto today bounced into a fielder's choice. He grounded his second in his 2 trips against Ray. And here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball that misses low, and the count now goes to 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Gracie Lynn says the Marlins have missed the golden opportunity. Could have had Starling Castro and Starling Marte on the same team. It would have been the only team in Major League history to have 2 guys named Starling. Yeah, absolutely. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses down. It's going to be ball 4, and Juan Soto is aboard with a leadoff walk here to start the 6th inning. And that is going to bring up the dangerous Pete Alonso to the plate. That walk is only the 2nd issued by Ray today. Alonso has reached base both times he's come to bat. He reached on the error by Chapman in the 1st inning, and he had a single to lead off the 4th. So chomping at the bit to get to the plate. Here comes the first pitch. The first pitch is a fastball that swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Alonso. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Alonso waggling the bat from the right side here against the lefty Ray, who checks the runner as he works himself to the set. Here comes the pitch. Breaking ball swung on, and he's popped it up. Alonso's not happy. It's in shallow left field. Coming in on it as Ramos. I think he threw the bat as far as he hit the ball, it seemed like. That is going to be the first out of the inning, as Alonso not happy with himself. He just missed that one. So 1 gone. That'll bring up the designated hitter, Starling Marte. Gracie Lynn says, anybody remember Starling Castro? Castro had some pretty good years in the big leagues. If I believe correctly, I think he was a second baseman for most of his career. I'd have to go back and look him up. So Marte stepping into the plate. He's 1 for 2 tonight. He's doubled, and he's lined out to left field, and he takes a first pitch fastball up and in for ball 1. Count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Giants with a 1-0 lead here, top of the 6th inning, as the Mets are taking their turn at the plate. There's a fastball that's upstairs. Off to the races goes Soto, and he's going to steal second. It's going to be his 14th stolen base of the year for Juan Soto. That last pitch was a called strike by Trip Gibson. Couldn't tell on the pitch if that was or not. But sliding in safely is Soto. He got a pretty good jump off the lefty. In fact, it was probably a easier stolen base than I would have anticipated. There's a fastball that misses up and in, and the count now goes to 2-1 on Marte. Well, Soto's now got himself in scoring position here with one gone. Mets are going to have a couple of cracks to try to bring him home. As Robbie Ray has asked the home plate umpire for a new baseball, and that he will receive. So here comes the 2-1 offering as Marte waits and the lefty kicks and delivers. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes it is. Lefty again working to the set, checks the runner at second. And now he does a spaghetti move, and that chases Soto back to the bag. When I refer to the spaghetti move, it's the inside move as opposed to a blindside turn. Sometimes the spaghetti move, they think the pitcher is going to the plate. Again, Soto in the mind of Robbie Ray as he kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on and lifted foul down the first base line, and the count remains at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Temperature right now, or at game time anyways, it was 61 degrees. I wonder, I haven't been to San Fran, so I wonder if it's like when the temperature drops in Seattle. Usually it's like around 9 o'clock. It goes from being very beautiful to bring out the parkas. As that fastball misses inside to Marte, it's now 3-2. And it gets cold in a big-time hurry. Here's the pitch. There's a breaking ball that misses inside. It's going to be ball 4. It's going to be the second walk of the inning, the third of the ball game issued by Ray. And that's going to bring the bullpen going as it's Walker who is up and throwing. And the pitching coach for the Giants is on his way to the mound. So the pitching coach for the Giants was making his way. That's Jeremy Hefner. We saw him make a couple of trips last night to the starter Logan Webb. Now they got runners at first and second with one gun. It's going to bring Brett Beatty to the plate. Beatty 1 for 2 today. He's got a single and 2 trips. He's also flown out to center field. So Walker is getting his scouting report, or they're telling him who he's probably potentially going to face. One would have to think with Walker heating up, that's Ryan Walker, that is, that could be Vientos, definitely Alvarez, I would think. So Beatty 1 for 2. Pulled his average up to 240 on the season as the lefty Ray gets the sign from his catcher Kisner. And the pitch is on the way. It is a breaking ball missing upstairs, and the count is 1-0. I have to say he's got to be hoping for a rollover here in this situation, maybe a double play ball, because Robbie Ray seems to have lost the command of his pitches here in inning number 6. 2 of the 3 batters have reached base on walks. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded over to first. Devers fields it. He plays basketball with it. He wanted to go to second for the force and wanted to get Starling Marte, but he ends up dropping it on the ground on the exchange, but he's going to be able to get the out at first anyway. It's a ground out to 3. Advancing to third is Soto. Stopping at second is Marte. But I think the Giants are going to feel a little hard done by. This game here, if you're getting a chance to watch the game, it is a exhibition of all the wrong reasons with Rafi Devers playing at first base. There's a breaking ball that catches the outside corner to Vientos, and the count is quickly 0-1. He is a leading candidate for a hand transplant after this one. He does not have an error charged to him yet, but he has not fielded the balls cleanly. As the pitch is a fastball swung on, this ball is lined into left field. It's going to be a base hit, and that is going to make the Giants pay. Oh, and Ramos is having to chase it around into the corner. It's going to be extra bases for Vientos, and he's going to cruise into second base. It's going to be a 2-run double, and the Mets have taken the lead here in inning number 6. That could have been potentially a double play ball to end the inning. And that looks like it is going to do it as Bob Melvin is on his way to the mound. He is going to be hooking out the starter, Robbie Ray. His day is done. It's going to be Francisco Alvarez coming to the plate, and Ryan Walker more than likely is going to be coming on in relief, as he was the only one up in the pen moments ago. But we do have a pitching change. It is Walker on his way into the mound. We're going to take a little break. We're going to come back in just a couple of moments. The Giants now find themselves in a 2-1 deficit to the Mets. We'll be right back in just a couple of moments after this. Hang with us, everybody. It is our friend Steve Rademacher, and he's got himself a pitching change just for you.
Hey, where are you going? It's a pitching change. Come on, sit back down. You don't go out there. Don't go get no food or anything. You've got a big decision. Are you gonna throw in there Raleigh Fingers? Maybe Goose Gossage? How about maybe Mariano Rivera or Lee Smith, Dennis Eckersley? Who knows? It's a pitching change. Come on back. You know who I would pick for this? A nice, tall, cool one. There's my pitcher. That's my pitching change. That's a winning combination. Come see my channel. You know, every day is opening day. And according to Bob, I must be in the front row. Blah.
Welcome back, everybody. It is with a couple of swings of the bat. It is a brand new ball game as the Mets have taken the lead at 2-1 here. Juan Soto walked to lead off the inning, and after a flyout by Pete Alonso, Starling Marte joined the party with another walk after Brett Beatty grounded out, which possibly could have been a double play. It then led to a Mark Vientos, a 2-run double to give the Mets a 2-1 lead. The pitching change is Ryan Walker, who is coming in on in relief. And for Walker, well, he's making his 45th appearance already of the campaign. He has got a record of 2-3. He has worked 41 1/3 innings, allowed 34 hits. He has walked 10 and struck out 40, so he is on trying to get Francisco Alvarez. And the first pitch at 96 miles an hour is a fastball that misses down and away for ball one. Count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Alvarez batting from the right side. He tripled with 2 out in the second inning, but was left stranded. He also grounded into a double play his last at bat. There's another fastball that misses outside. The count's now 2-0. So Robbie Ray's night is finished, but he is still responsible for the runner at second base. 102 pitches for the left-hander, 63 of which were for strikes. As the pitch on the way from Walker is a breaking ball that misses down and away. It's now 3-0 to Alvarez. And at second base, running for Vientos is Luis Angel Acuna. He has come into the ball game. There's a breaking ball that misses inside. It's going to be ball 4, and Alvarez is going to get himself a walk on 4 straight pitches, and that'll bring up the center fielder in Tyrone Taylor. So not quite the way that Ryan Walker had scripted it up for himself. So that brings Taylor to the plate, who is 0 for 2 tonight. He has struck out looking and struck out swinging in his 2 trips. So Taylor steps in at the plate. He taps both sides of the dish. Ready for the first offering here from Walker, who kicks and fires. There's a breaking ball that misses outside. And so welcome to the ball game, Mr. Walker. He's delivered 5 consecutive balls in a row. I think if I'm Tyrone Taylor, I put my bat on my shoulder and I wait. See if he's able to throw me anything. Here's the 1-0 pitch. There's another fastball at 97 in the dirt, and the count now goes to 2-0. We had a couple of people that were in the stream last night that when Bob Melvin was a little slow to make the change last night on Logan Webb, they were really upset. There was a fastball taken at the knees for a called strike, and the right-hander Walker gets a bit of a Bronx cheer from the locals. So 2 balls and 1 strike it is. As the right-hander kicks and fires, there's another fastball taken for a called strike, and now the count goes to 2-2. Both those pitches were pretty good, right at the knees, low and away, a little bit of arm side run. Not really sure what Tyrone Taylor was looking for. As the pitch is delivered, there's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 3-2. Gracie Lynn said she's glad she didn't make that statement a little bit ago about how the Giants don't walk a lot of batters. Well, guess what? You've got ball 4 here as Taylor's going to get himself a walk. So back-to-back walks issued by Walker here, as he has had a hard time finding the strike zone. That's going to load the bases, and it's going to bring up the top of the order in Brandon Nimmo. Nimmo's the 8th hitter to come to bat in the inning. He's 0 for 3 in this one. Maybe they're onto something. Maybe they figured they'd walk a couple of guys to face Nimmo. He has flown to left, flown to center, and grounded to first, and he takes a center cut fastball for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. Nimmo's average has dipped to 263 on the campaign, as the righty Walker holds at the belt, now delivers. Fastball at the knees at 97 for a called strike, and the count goes to 0-2. I was mentioning last night that Trip Gibson had some experience. I think he was a minor league player once upon a time. I'd have to go look that up on Baseball Reference. I definitely know he played college ball. There's a center cut fastball taken for a called third strike. Nimmo took 3 pitches, all for strikes. Stood there like the house by the side of the road. He's gone for out number 3, and that is going to do it, stranding the bases loaded. So Mark Vientos with a 2-run double has given the Mets a lead. There were 2 runs in the inning on the benefit of only 1 hit. There were 4 walks issued. There were no errors and 3 runners left aboard. We are now moving to the bottom half of inning number 6. It is a 2-1 ball game for the Mets. We'll be back in just a few. Unbelievable turn of events here in this one. We'll be right back after this.
Well, you got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just 1 roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
That's right, everybody. That is our friend Matt Hollis. Be sure to check him out after the game. We'll be back in 30 with all the action. Welcome back, everybody. It is the Giants, Wilmer Flores, Casey Schmidt, and Jung-Hoo Lee to come to bat here in the 6th inning, as they will be facing David Peterson, who will come back out for inning number 6. Our friend Gracie Lynn earlier said maybe different philosophies, but wouldn't call 61 Fahrenheit nice or enjoyable. Well, it is if you got the sun on you. It's not so bad, but if it's in the cloud, you want to make sure you got the hoodie. There's a first pitch fastball swung on. It is going to be hammered past the diving third baseman of the Mets. Digging hard for second is Flores. The throw comes in, and it is going to be in time as Acuna has tagged them out. A good throw there by the left fielder. What a play there by Nimmo. And he fires it on the money to get the runner heading into second base. We'll get a look at it on the replay again. The ground ball ate up the third baseman, Brett Beatty, who had moved over to third from second. Picking it up was Nimmo. He threw a dart right to the bag. Got to give Flores credit. He was hustling. That's going to be a single, and then he's going to be put out 7-4 on the putout for the first out of the inning. So a bit of unfortunate events there for the Giants. One gone here, and it's going to bring up the second baseman in Casey Schmidt. And the first pitch offered to Schmidt is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count's 0-1. Schmidt 0-1 today, flew to right his first time up, and he walked in the fourth. As the lefty kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball waved at and missed. And the count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. The lefty again rocks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into right field. Coming in is Soto, and he's going to make a running catch. And there are 2 quick outs here, and that is going to leave it up to the center fielder, Jung-Hoo Lee. Well, for Lee, he has been productive tonight for the Giants. He's got a single and 2 trips. He's also driven in their only run. He's raised his season average up to 250 on the year. Batting from the left side against the lefty Peterson, who kicks and fires. A breaking ball taken at the knees for called strike. The count is 0-1. This right here, Peterson might be able to come out for another inning of work. I'll have to wait and see what the Mets have up their sleeve. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses down and away, and the count goes even to 1-1. At least to possibly face the first couple of hitters in the order. Again, the lefty Peterson rocking into the windup and delivering. There is a breaking ball swung on and hammered foul over on the first base side off the dugout of the Mets, and that's going to run the count to 1-2 on Lee. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again, the lefty Peterson delivers, and there's a fastball that misses upstairs. Count goes to 2-2. I like that pitch. That changes the eye level of the hitters. Let's see if they end up going down and away. Here comes the 2-2 offering. Peterson rocks and delivers. There is a breaking ball swung on, and it's grounded foul, and he did go down in the zone. So keeps the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Lee. Again, Peterson ready to go. Gets the side from his catcher, Alvarez. Rocks and delivers. Breaking ball swung on. This ball's hammered through the 4-hole into right field. Lee's got his second hit of the ball game. As he is aboard, that's a good sign for the Giants if he's starting to heat up. So Jung-Hoo Lee aboard with a 2-out single, and that is going to bring up the right fielder in Luis Matos. Let's see if they put Lee in motion here. Curious to see if they feel that he could be somebody who's running. So the lefty kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0 to Matos. So 1 ball and no strikes. Lefty delivers. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into straightaway center field. And right there to make the catch is Tyrone Taylor, and that is going to do it for Matos. He's gone for the 3rd out of the inning. Giants, no runs in the inning. They get a couple of hits. There was no errors and 1 runner left aboard. Your score as we move now to the top of the 7th inning. It is the Mets 2 and the Giants 1. We'll be back in just a little bit with all the action right after this little timeout. Stay with us, everybody. It is our friend Matt once again.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's another Hollis build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. It is a 2-1 Mets lead as we move ourselves to the top of inning number 7. It's going to be Frankie Lindor, Juan Soto, and Pete Alonso to come to bat. 2-5-0 for the Mets, 1-8-1 for the Giants. That is your line score in this one. So it is going to be, we'll see if it is going to be David Peterson or they're going to make themselves a pitching change. Actually, it is. We're going to find that out later. We definitely know that Ryan Walker is done for the night. It is going to be Joey Lucchesi who is coming on in relief. So the lefty is taking over here. The 32-year-old was a former New York Met. He has worked in 13 ball games for the Giants this year. He's pitched 14 innings, allowed 11 hits, 3 runs, all of which have been earned. He has walked only 2 and struck out 17. So the lefty facing his former club. There was a first pitch fastball that misses down and away, and the count is quickly 1 ball and no strikes to Frankie Lindor at the plate. So Lindor takes the first pitch down and away. Have to get caught up as they did make a change, as we mentioned, as Acuna is in the ball game. He came in for Vientos. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 1-1. So Vientos, your reward for a 2-run double to give your team the lead, be replaced by Luis Angel Acuna. As time was called by Lindor, Casey spent his first 3 years in the big leagues with the Padres, and then he spent the last 3 seasons, or actually the last 4 seasons, but he missed the 2022 year with the Mets. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed. Count goes to 1-2 on Lindor. And here he finds himself in a San Francisco Giants uniform in 2025. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Lindor as Lucchesi ready to go. He rocks into the windup and delivers. There's a fastball that misses outside. They appeal over to the first base umpire, but Ryan Blakeney said he didn't go, and that runs the count now to 2-2 on Lindor. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lucchesi ready to go again. He gets the sign from his catcher, Kisner, and he delivers a breaking ball that is swung on and lifted foul into the seats over on the first base side. The count remains at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Soto and Alonso to follow here in the 7th inning. Mets had a 1-0 lead we're trailing 1-0 until the 6th inning when they erupted for a pair of runs. There's a breaking ball swung on, hit deep to left field. Moving back in front of the warning track is Ramos, and he's there to make the catch. That's going to retire Lindor for the first out of the inning. It'll bring up the right fielder in Juan Soto. Gracie Lynn says, just listening to us and the waves crashing along the shore. That's always a great sound. Which I believe it'd probably be about 10 o'clock Costa Rican time, if I'm not mistaken. Or at least where you are there. So here comes the offering from Lucchesi. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses inside. The count is quickly 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. With our friend Gracie Lynn spending a lot of time in Costa Rica. I wonder if she's ever been to Nicaragua. I mean, obviously they're neighboring countries if you've taken the drive north. Fastball swung on, ground to the right side. It is knocked down by Devers. He's going to have to hurry to flip it to first. And the circus continues over at first base. I have to say, got to give Devers credit. He was able to knock the ball down. He couldn't come up with the play, and then he flipped it to the pitcher covering, and they weren't able to get there in time. But he went over to his left. The ball hit off the heel. It was definitely not a comfortable play for Devers. He doesn't do a great job of getting over his front side to get down. I'm going to see how they're going to rule it. Personally speaking, I think that is a base hit. No, they're going to give it an error on the first baseman. Maybe that's in favor of the Giants and maybe not in the favor of Juan Soto. So E3, as the lefty Lucchese delivers a first pitch fastball to Alonso that swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-1. Gracie Lynn says she has not been to Nicaragua, just Panama. Driving to either is unbelievably inefficient. Yeah, Panama. I have a former player of mine lives in Panama. There's a breaking ball that misses upstairs. The count goes to 1-1. Yeah, that's probably a fair statement. Friend CV's still in the house too, listening in. We got ourselves a decent ball game over here as Lucchese throws over to first base. Getting back easily is the runner Juan Soto. So we've got 1 ball and 1 strike, and there's a fastball swung on, grounded to short. They go to second for 1. Back to first, and that's going to be a double play, and that is going to do it here. And that is going to be of the 6-4-3 variety, and that will do it here for the Mets in their half of the 7th inning. No runs in the inning. There was no hits. There was an error, and there was nobody left aboard. We're moving to the bottom half of the 7th inning. I'd sing and take you out to the ball game, but we're going to save that for our Japanese game a little bit later. It'll be Kisner, Ramos, and Devers to come to bat when we return. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back after this timeout.
Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 9-1 and 2 hitters slated to come to bat here for the Giants and their half inning. It is going to be a pitching change as it is going to be Reed Garrett coming into the game as he will be taking over here. Garrett began his big league career with the Detroit Tigers. He ended up with Washington, Baltimore, and he has seemingly found a home with the Mets. And he has gotten better with age. He has appeared in 42 games, working 40 in the 3rd innings, and he has a 2.90 ERA. The first pitch is a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. It is Patrick Bailey who is on to pinch hit, so Bailey will be more than likely coming in behind the plate as well. So Bailey, who started in last night's ball game, swings at that pitch and fouls it away, and the count now goes to 0-2, so no balls and 2 strikes to Bailey. So the end of the night for Peterson, he's got the chance to pick up the win, as it is going to be the bullpen of the Mets to try to bring this one home here for the ball club located in Queens. So no balls and 2 strikes here to Patrick Bailey. As the right-hander Garrett kicks and delivers, there is a changeup that misses down and away, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. As the pitch is on the way, there's a fastball that misses down and away, and the count goes to 2-2. Our friend Gracie Lynn says, when traveling by land, you also have to buy a plane or bus train ticket on the day you plan to leave. It's kind of crazy. And they check every vehicle thoroughly for drugs and other contraband. As the pitch is a fastball taken for a called third strike, and Bailey is down on strikes for the first out of the inning. It'll bring up the top of the order in Helio Ramos. Yeah, I remember when I was leaving Costa Rica, the airport, they had pulled me aside and wanted to do a full inspection on my luggage. And all I had was, I don't know, what seemed like about 10 pounds of coffee. The pitch is on the way. It's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Ramos. Ramos is 1 for 3 today. Singled in his 3 trips against Peterson. He also grounded out to short twice. As the right-hander Lucchese delivers, it is a changeup that is waved at and missed, and the count now goes to 0-2. Yeah, CV says, and baseball cards. Yeah, you got to watch out for those baseball card contraband. And now time has been called. Yeah, you might be better off just taking a flight that way there. It's pretty quick and easy. So the right-hander ready to go again as he works himself to the set. And here comes the pitch. It is a changeup that is swung on and fouled away. Count remains at 0-2 to Ramos. Gracie Lynn said she wanted to watch the Costa Rican national soccer team away at Panama in the Nations League. Yeah, that'll do it to you. There's a fastball taken for a called third strike. Oh, Ramos stood there and watched that one go by. So back-to-back called strikes to send the Giants hitters down. That's the second out of the inning, and it's going to leave it all up to the first baseman, Rafi Devers. Well, for Devers, he's 1 for 3 tonight. He singled in the first inning. He's also grounded to short and struck out in his 2 trips to the plate. And the first pitch is a fastball swung on. It's grounded softly over to first. Fielded by Alonso. He flips it over to the pitcher covering. It's going to go down as a ground out 3-1. That's a quick inning there for Reed Garrett, and that is going to do it here as the Giants go in order in the 7th. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. We are now moving to the top half of inning number 8. Your score is the New York Mets 2 and the San Francisco Giants 1. Stay with us, everybody. We're getting into the deep water in this one. We'll be right back after this.
Thank you, Freddie. Appreciate your support and everybody out there. Steve again here, obviously, with the Milwaukee Brewers. Of course, we have Bernie Brewer on my favorite beverage of choice right there, along with a card of Bernie. Yay! Now, we got some special guests here. I'm not just talking about our Hall of Fame lineup. I must be in the front row. Hey, come on there, Robin. I got 3,000 hits. What do you have? Well, I was the all-time saves leader, and I got 1.5 feet on you. Okay, Raleigh, settle down, buddy. Now, none of this could be possible without Harvey's Wallbangers. There's Harvey. And who could forget the Fonz? Hey.
Welcome back, everybody. It is definitely a interesting ball game here tonight. 2-1 is the score line as we are checking up on some of the movements around baseball. And we'll take a look to see. Randall Grichuk was acquired earlier today by the Kansas City Royals from the Diamondbacks. And we mentioned earlier that Ahmed Rosario is now in a New York Yankee uniform. In return, it'll be Clayton Beeter and Brome Martinez will go to the Nationals. That's an interesting trade there, to say the least. Other movements, Mariners are making Dylan Moore available in trade talks, so to speak. Looks like Aaron Judge is going to go on the injured list with a flexor strain. I saw that a little bit ago. Carson Spires of the Reds is going to get himself some Tommy John surgery. So look out there. CV says that Grichuk last year was a Angel. That is for certain. Well, we got Tyler Rogers, who's now in the ball game here. It's a 1-1 count here to the right-handed hitting Marte. And there's a fastball swung on. It's going to be grounded down the right field line into the corner. It's going to be extra bases. Oh, and it gets away from the right fielder Matos, and cruising into second is Marte. I got to tell you, I watched the corner outfielders from the Giants. You'd think it's their home park, that they would know how the bounces would go. And you have to be careful sometimes when you chase the bounces. You can't be chasing them into the corners. That ball was sliced down the right field line past the diving Devers. And then into the corner, it was chased. And then the ball ends up moving back into fair territory. You know, from my own experience in coaching, sometimes we would have to tell the players that it would have to be, you sometimes would ball go into the corner and you go into fair territory about good 5-6 yards off of the foul line. Just the way the balls would ricochet, depending on the stadium that you're at. As that was a fastball taken for a called strike. You got to know how to play the bounces, but on your home field, that becomes even more important. So no balls and 1 strike to Beatty. If you don't know your home field, that's a big problem. And playing in the other 29 parks across Major League Baseball, that's a different kettle of fish. So no balls and 1 strike to Beatty. Runner at second is Marte. See, if this was in the Asian leagues, they'd be bunting right now to get that runner over to third and then have 2 cracks to bring him home from third. As that fastball is taken for a called strike, the count now goes to 0-2 on Beatty. Major League Baseball, not quite. There's a fastball swung on, is grounded softly up the middle, fielded neatly by the second baseman Schmidt, who throws to first. Well, you don't have to bunt, but that does this job just the same. It's a ground out 4-3. It advances Marte over to third. That is going to bring up Luis Angel Acuna. Gracie Lynn says, I guess I really don't understand the Diamondbacks Royals trade. Both teams just swapped one MLB on a 1-year contract. Yeah, it's probably expiring, and hopefully they can catch fire with them. As there is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Acuna. Our friend the hobbyist in the house, it would be more like Kanbanwa at this time of the day because it is the evening. But hello to you as well. We appreciate you for being here. Fastball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes it is. Acuna in the hole. Batting from the right side here against Tyler Rogers. 0-2 pitch on the way, and there is a sinker that misses low. I guess you want to call it that. Hard to tell. Rogers doesn't exactly throw particularly hard. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Acuna. Runner at second is Marte. And there is a breaking ball that is waved at and missed. That was Javi Baez-esque as he swung at the pitch in the left-handed batter's box. He's down on strikes for the second out of the inning, and it's going to leave it up to the catcher, Francisco Alvarez. I say that being a Tiger fan, but also knowing that Javi Baez used to call New York his home. There's a first pitch fastball that misses down and away, and the count is quickly 1-0 to Alvarez. Alvarez tonight is officially 1 for 2. He tripled in the second inning. He grounded into a double play in the 4th, and he walked in the 6th. Takes a breaking ball for a called strike, and the count goes even to 1-1. Gracie Lynn says, what do you think about Rich Hill hanging on? Pretty impressive, actually. Got to tell you, Rich Hill he loves to play. There's some guys that are like that. When I got to a point where I looked at it and said, I'm not going to hang around any longer. It's time to make somebody else better. I've got nothing to compete for. You're not good enough at some point in time. Now you have to make the decision. You hear people say, There's a fastball taken for a called strike. Oh, I quit the game because I got hurt or had this injury or whatever it might be. It comes to a point you're not good enough at a certain level. And it's time to make somebody else better or get out of the game and go sit back and enjoy it. And, then you got other players like Rich Hill who just keeps right on going. He could play to at least 60, or he would want to play to at least 60, as there's a fastball swung on and fouled away. I remember there was a guy who had played in the Tigers and Pirates minor leagues, and he got released. And this is go back 20 years ago. The guy was in his 50s, and he was still playing local baseball, and he was still pretty good. As the pitch is on the way, it's a breaking ball swung on, grounded softly to second, fielded by Schmidt. He throws to first. Alvarez has gone on a ground out 4-3 for the third out of the inning. And that is going to do it. They squander a leadoff double off the bat of Starling Marte. There was no runs in the inning, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We're moving to the bottom of the 8th inning. Your score is 2-1 right now for the Mets over the Giants. We'll be back in just a couple moments. Jamie Moyer, Julio Franco also fit that bill. CV's got that right for sure. And we'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action right after this. We are moving ourselves to the bottom half of inning number 8. It'll be Adames, Chapman, and Flores to come to bat. We will return after this musical timeout. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be another pitching change here for the Mets as Ryan Stanek is coming on in relief. He'll be facing Willy Adames here. Stanek, the 34-year-old right-hander, is making his 41st appearance of the season for the Mets. He's got a 2-5 record. Stanek appearing in 34 2/3 innings, or 34 2/3 innings. He has himself 35 hits allowed, 21 runs, 16 of which have been earned. He's walked 18 and struck out 38. Probably his best years arguably were at the Houston Astros, as he delivers a first pitch breaking ball up in the zone, and the count is 1-0 to Adames. Adames today is officially 1 for 1. He's also drawn a couple of walks. He's reached base all 3 times he has come to the plate. As there is a fastball swung on, this is lifted down the right field line, and the count goes to 1-1. Gracie Lynn said there was a guy that used to play for the Indians and Red Sox. I definitely know that Fernando Rodney is playing in the Inter-County League in, I believe, Hamilton, Ontario, as there's a split finger that misses down, and the count goes to 2-1 on Adames. Gracie Lynn says Manny Ramirez. Manny's kids were playing in Victoria, BC last year. I don't know if they ended up in the draft or not. Fastball misses inside, and the count now goes to 3-1. And in fact, I think that, as a matter of fact, Manny Ramirez's kids were, I want to say one of the kids ended up down in Australia for a bit. There's a fastball swung on, grounded over to third, fielded by Beatty. He throws to first, and Alonso makes the play, and then he has to get himself out of the way of the oncoming base runner, and it's going to go down as a ground out 5-3. So the Giants are now running out of outs. They've got 5 left to have to get some runs. Beatty, but the throw was up the line. Good job there by Alonso to make the catch and then to get out of the way before he got run over by the base runner Adames. Brings Matt Chapman to the plate. And the first pitch to Chapman's a breaking ball that misses upstairs. Count is 1-0. Yeah, he's definitely, that's for sure. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count goes to 2-0. Cal Raleigh has just hit his 40th home run of the year for the Seattle Mariners. It's the only other game that's going on right now across Major League Baseball. Angels and the Mariners. As the pitch on the way to Chapman's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. It's now 2-1 to the third baseman of the Giants. Randy Rodriguez up and throwing in the bullpen for the Giants, as he will come in the ninth inning against the Mets. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count now goes to 2-2. CV says Cal is having a special year. Yeah, platinum glove winner last year. And, you know, if he wins the platinum glove this year and a silver slugger, that would be a great trivia contest, or a trivia question is, when would be the next catcher to be able to do something like that? To have it both in the same season is pretty amazing. Breaking ball misses inside to Chapman, and the count now goes to 3-2. Yeah, I would have to think that I think that Cal has to be the odds-on favorite for MVP through the first 4 months. There's a fastball swung on, it's popped up softly to the left side of the infield. Beatty's going to make the catch in front of a laughing Francisco Lindor. And that is going to retire Chapman for the second out of the inning. It's going to leave it all up to the designated hitter in Wilmer Flores. Yeah, Cal Raleigh having an absolutely unbelievable season for the Seattle Mariners behind the plate, offensively, just doing it all, carrying that team like it's nobody's business. I am curious to see how the Josh Naylor trade will work out for the Mariners. First pitch fastball swung on, lined into left field, drifting back, and there to make the catch is Nimmo. And that is going to do it. He hit the ball right on the screws, did Flores, but right to the glove of the left fielder. And the Giants go in order here in the eighth inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. We're going to the ninth. It is the Mets 2 and the Giants 1. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action after this.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball. That's right, we know baseball, and more than likely a pitching change is coming up here. We'll get that for you when we return right after this. Welcome back, everybody. Randy Rodriguez coming in the ballgame. He's had himself a great year so far here for the Giants. He has worked 42 2/3 innings in his 42 appearances. He's allowed 26 hits, 6 runs, 4 of which have been earned. He's walked 8, struck out 56, and he's got himself an ERA of 0.84. He has a record of 3-1 and as well as 1 save. So Rodriguez coming on in relief, and he is slated to face the 9, 1, and 2 hitters in the batting order, which means Tyrone Taylor, Brandon Nimmo, and Frankie Lindor. So we'll see how this shapes up here for the Mets here in the ninth inning. They're clinging to a 2-1 lead. Looking ahead to the bottom of the ninth inning, it'll be Schmidt, Lee, and Matos. I would have to think it'll be a diet of Edwin Diaz, a little bit of sugar to finish this one out. And the first pitch from Rodriguez is a fastball taken for a called strike. And the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and one strike. CV says, who is the former major leaguer in your commercial? That's Eric Fox. As the pitch is a breaking ball, I'll take it for a called strike. We're going to do a couple more commercials with him when he's up here. He's coming up to do a little bit of work for me and to hang out for a little bit and relax. So we got no balls and two strikes to Taylor. As the righty Rodriguez holds at the belt now, delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and Taylor down on strikes. 3 pitches to put Taylor away for the first out of the inning. It's the third time tonight he's gone down on strikes. Going to bring up the top of the order in Brandon Nimmo. Eric had spent time with the Oakland A's when they had the likes of Ruben Sierra, Ricky Henderson, and Dave Henderson. He was their fourth outfielder. He was a yo-yo player, spent time with them parts of 3 seasons, and he also spent time in the Texas organization at the big league level. Fastball misses upstairs for ball. He is one of those guys we were talking about earlier. He had a 13-year minor league career. And as I said, parts of 4 seasons in the big leagues. He was a first-round pick of the Seattle Mariners in the January phase of the draft. There's the breaking ball that misses outside, and the count goes to 2-0 on Nimmo. He was actually drafted 3 times. He was taken by the Phillies, the Blue Jays, and then the Mariners, and eventually signed with the Mariners. He wasn't sure he was going to get to the big leagues. He made his debut at 28 years old. Fastball swung on and missed, and the count goes to 2-1. We're talking about Eric Fox. That his knees blew up his knee in the 1983 USA national team. He would have been in the 84 Olympics with McGuire and all those guys, but wasn't to be. Tore his ACL. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. The count's 2-2. That was the first year that the United States put their collegiate teams together and they would tour around and play games in the summer. It was at the era when they sent their teams to the Olympics. Other players on that team besides Mark McGuire included Bill Swift, who was a pitcher with the Seattle Mariners. Oda B. McDowell, who was a Texas Ranger. We're just waiting here as Nimmo had found that ball off his shin guard and he's moving gingerly. Looks like he is going to be okay as the trainer had come out to check on him. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Nimmo. Nimmo 0 for 4 tonight, looking for his first hit in this one. It's been a rough couple of games for the left-handed hitting left fielder of the Mets. And the right-hander Rodriguez delivers. There's a breaking ball down. Good stop there by Patrick Bailey. Count now runs full to 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. And the righty works himself to the belt. And here comes the pitch. Breaking ball swung on and missed. And Nimmo's in the books. Back-to-back strikeouts here for Rodriguez. There's 2 away, and that's going to leave it all up to the shortstop, Frankie Lindor. That game with the Mariners and the Angels, 3-2 for the Mariners. It was the 6th inning home run by Raleigh, which is the difference in that one. And the Mariners are threatening as they got the bases loaded in the 6th, looking for more. There's a ball swung on. It's grounded softly. Bailey fields it, and he throws it into right field as it gets by Devers and the second baseman Schmidt, fielded there by the right fielder Matos. We're going to have to take a look at that one. I do believe they're probably going to rule that as a single. I don't think they would have got him. It was a swinging bunt down the first baseline. Lindor was getting down the line. Bailey fielded it, slid on his knees, and then he threw it away. I don't think he would have been able to make the play anyway. We'll get a look at that on the replay. Very, very difficult play. We're going to wait to see what the scorers have to say on that one. They are going to give a single to Lindor, so he's got himself his first hit of the ballgame. That'll bring Juan Soto to the plate. So Rodriguez kicks and delivers a first pitch at 96, backs Soto off of the plate for ball 1. The count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Top of the 9th inning, and it is Edwin Diaz in the Mets bullpen, as they are going to look to try to win back-to-back games against the Giants. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Count goes to 1-1 on Soto. Just a reminder, just a little under 90 minutes time, we're going to do an NPB game. So if you guys are around and want to listen to the Japanese stuff, hopefully you can make it in for that. There's a fastball swung on. This is going to be lifted foul down the third base line, and the count goes to 1-2 on Soto. Soto tonight is officially 0 for 3. He's reached on a fielder's choice. He reached on an error. He walked, stole a base, and scored a run, and he's grounded out. So he has been aboard 3 times, but he has yet to get himself a hit. Here comes the 1-2 offering as the right-hander again holds to the set. Now delivers. Breaking ball, take it for a called third strike. Oh, Soto didn't like that one. He's going to come over and have a talk with Tripp Gibson. But I think he's going to agree with him once he sees that on the replay. But striking out the side is Rodriguez, as that is going to do it here in the 9th inning. No runs in the inning. There was a hit, no errors, and there was 1 runner left aboard. We're moving into the bottom of the 9th inning. Your score is the New York Mets with a 2-1 lead over the Giants. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few to close this one out for you. Maybe see if Edwin Diaz can do it as well. Right back after this.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. It is sugar time, and that means it is Edwin Diaz coming on in relief. The 31-year-old right-hander is coming on here. The former third-round pick of the Seattle Mariners, 5-0 on the season with 21 saves. Diaz has worked in this is going to be his 41st game. He has 40 2/3 innings pitched. He's allowed 21 hits, 8 runs, 7 of which have been earned. He has walked 14 and struck out 61. So it'll be Casey Schmidt to lead it off against him here. And the first pitch is a breaking ball down. They appeal over to the first base umpire, and they said that Schmidt went around, and the count is quickly 0-1. Schmidt, Lee, and Matos here in the bottom of the 9th inning to face the right-hander. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 0-2 on Schmidt. Giants had a 1-0 lead until the 6th inning when the Mets scored a pair. That's been pretty much it the rest of the way. There's a fastball swung on. This is lined right to the glove of the third baseman, Brett Beatty. And he is going to retire Schmidt. So that is one gone here in the books. He hit that one right on the screws. 0-2 pitch. Absolutely hammered it right to the glove of Beatty. And that is one gone here for the Giants in their half of the 9th. That is going to bring up arguably the most dangerous hitter tonight for the Giants. It is Jung-Hoo Lee. He has reached base all 3 times. He is 2 for 3. He's got a couple of singles. He's driven in a run. The only run for the Giants. And there's a fastball that misses outside for a ball, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Diaz looking to seal the deal here as he holds to the set, now delivers. And it is a breaking ball that is waved at and missed, and the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. I don't know if Diaz has got a lot of gas in the tank left. We'll have to take a look here. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into deep right field. This ball could be trouble, and it's going to be off the wall. It is played by Soto, and cruising into second base with a one-out double is Lee. That ball was close to leaving the yard. It hit the top of the wall in right center field. A very athletic play by Soto to get it, and then throwing semi-off balance to get the ball back into the infield. So he is in scoring position with a one-out double, and that is going to bring Luis Matos to the plate. So the hitting of Jung-Hoo Lee tonight, his third hit of the ball game. And when I say he didn't miss that by much, it was probably about a foot from being out. Gracie Lynn says she's not a huge fan of Edwin Diaz. Well, that's going to bring Mike Yastrzemski to the plate as he's going to pinch hit for Matos. And the first pitch to Yastrzemski swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1. I don't think he throws as hard as I would have expected. I thought that Diaz would pump gas a little bit harder than what he is. There's a fastball, although that one comes in at 98, and maybe I got to bite my tongue. That's the fastest pitch he's thrown tonight by a large margin. So 1-1 strike. It looks like he still has something in the tank, so to speak. And the 1-1 pitch on the way. Another fastball at 98 swung on and fouled away, and the count now goes to 1-2. So 1 2 strikes. We are here in the bottom of the ninth inning. There is one gone and a runner at second base. Jung-Hoo Lee, the runner at second. Schmidt lined out to third to start the inning. And Yastrzemski, the pinch hitter, finds himself in the hole here at 1-2. Edwin Diaz ready to go again. Getting the sign from his catcher, Alvarez. Looks like they're going to walk the ladder. Here's the pitch, and it is a fastball down. They appeal over to the third base umpire. And up goes the right hand of Marvin Hudson, and that is going to retire Yastrzemski. He goes down on strikes. We'll get a look at the replay. Hopefully we can see what that looks like. Yeah, I got to say, let me get the other replay. I got to agree with Marvin Hudson on that one. He did go around, couldn't hold up. And that's going to leave it up to the catcher, Patrick Bailey. Well, Bailey came on as a pinch hitter for Andrew Kisner in the seventh inning. He struck out looking in his only time to the plate as Francisco Alvarez makes his way out to the mound to have a discussion with Edwin Diaz. Gracie Lynn says he hasn't looked the same since the World Baseball Classic injury. Well, he's having a pretty good year, but yeah, he may not look quite the same because of that injury. Looks like he has lost a little bit off of that fastball, but then we see him rear back and throw 98 a couple of times. Maybe that's just changed his presence of what he does. So Bailey batting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Diaz, and the first pitch is a breaking ball that misses outside. The count is 1-0. Certainly, if I'm going to go after somebody like Patrick Bailey, I might be challenging him with the fastballs. It's not like Bailey is ripping the cover off the ball this year. Batting from the left side as now Diaz has disengaged the rubber and he's ready to go back to work again. Here comes the 1-0 offering as Bailey gets himself set. Diaz holds set, kicks and fires. Fastball at 98, swung on and missed, and the count goes to 1-1. I have to say, one thing about the pitcher Diaz here, he doesn't come set very long. He is in line for a balk. He's really walking a thin line here as he works himself set again. Here's the pitch. That's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-1. She says, Bailey is a switch hitter. You got it. I'm not sure what side is better. I'd have to go look at his splits. Here's the offering. Fastball swung on, lined right to the glove of Pete Alonso. Oh, boy, he hit the ball right on the screws. Alonso leaps up and makes the catch, and that is going to do it. As the Mets are going to win this one 2-1. Oh, you couldn't ask for a better swing. Just happened to be right to the glove of the polar bear at first base, a leaping polar bear at that. And that will do it here in this one. No runs in the inning, one hit, no errors. And there was one runner left aboard. Your final score is the New York Mets 2 The San Francisco Giants won. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments to wrap this baby up for you, as well as give you the out-of-town scoreboard.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Our friend Gracie Lynn is tapping out. We'll give you the recap of this one here. We're going to be back on in about an hour and 15 minutes for some Japanese baseball. Hopefully you guys can make it in with us. Here's the report on this. We'll look at the scores from around the league, and then we're going to call it a early evening for game one. We'll be back in about 105 minutes, or 75 minutes for another one. Tonight, the Giants got things going in the fourth inning. A leadoff single by Willie Adames. After Matt Chapman singled, Wilmer Flores struck out, and Casey Schmidt walked. Jung-Hoo Lee grounded into a fielder's choice to bring home the only run for the Giants in this one. 1-0 lead for San Fran after 4. The Mets got all their runs in the sixth inning when they sent 8 hitters to the plate. A leadoff walk by Juan Soto. After Pete Alonso flew out to left, Starling Marte walked. Brett Beatty grounded out, moving the runners to second and third. And up stepped Mark Vientos, and he delivered a 2-run double to bring home Soto and Marte to give the Mets a 2-1 lead, and they never looked back. The win in this one here goes to David Peterson. He goes to 7-4. Robbie Ray takes the loss. He's now 9-5. Edwin Diaz picks up the save. We'll take a quick look around at Major League Baseball. Only one other game still underway. The Mariners are leading the Angels 6-2. That game was in the bottom of the sixth inning. 4-run uprising in the top of the sixth for the Mariners. Finals from around the MLB. The Blue Jays beat the Tigers 6-1, 6-12-1 for the Jays, 1-2-1 for the Tigers. Fisher gets the win. He's 4-0 for the Jays. Vest takes the loss. He drops to 5-2. Phillies knock off the Yankees in the Bronx 9-4, 9-13-0 for the Phils, 4-9-1 for the Yankees. Ranger Suarez goes to 8-4 on the year. Marcus Stroman takes the loss. He is 2-2. The Pirates knocked off the Diamondbacks 2-0, 2-6-0 for the Pirates, 0-4-1 for the Diamondbacks. Heaney the win. He's 5-9 for the Buccos. Kelly takes the loss. He's 9-6. Bednar gets his 16th save of the season. Reds knock off the Rays behind Graham Ashcraft, who improves to 6-4. Baker takes the loss for the Rays, 3-4 now on the season. Reds 6-7-1. Rays 2-5-1. Again, your final 6-2 Cincinnati. The Orioles shoved an 18 spot on the board against the Rockies. 18 runs, 18 hits, no errors. Rockies 0-2-2 in that one. Rogers gets the win. He goes to 4-1 for the Orioles. Senzatella the loss. He goes to 4-14. Texas Rangers win in 10. Armstrong gets the win. He's 4-3. De Los Santos takes the loss. He's 3-3. They beat the Braves 6-5. 6-8-0 for Texas, 5-8-0 for the Braves. Again, your final 6-5 for the Rangers. Athletics, good baseball continues to go on as they get the Hunter Brown today in Houston. 5-7-0 for the Athletics, 1-4-0 for the Astros. Sterner the win for the A's. Brown the loser. He goes to 9-5. Final score 5-1 in that one. Nationals beat the Twins 9-3. That game went off in Minnesota. Nationals behind Parker. He gets the win. He's 7-10. Ryan takes the loss. He's 10-5. 9-12-0 for the Nats. 3-12-1 for the Twinkies. It is 9-3 your final in that one. The Battle of Chicago. The Cubs get the win back today that they didn't get last night. 6-1 over the White Sox. 6-10-0 for the Cubs. 1-6-0 for the Chi Sox. Horton the win. He's 4-3. Leisure the loss. He's 3-6. Marlins knocked off the Brewers today 7-4 in Milwaukee. 7-11-0 for the Marlins. 4-11-1 for the Brew Crew. Junk gets the win. He goes to 5-2. Quintana the loss. He's 7-4. Phillips gets the save, his first of the year. The Red Sox beat the Dodgers 4-2. behind Garrett Crochet, gets his 12th win of the year. Clayton Kershaw takes the loss. He's 4-2. Aroldis Chapman, his 18th save. 4-10-0 for the Red Sox. 2-9-0 for the Dodgers. Your final again, 4-2 Boston. Other finals, the Padres again emptied the benches with the Cardinals today. Padres win 3-1, 3-8-0 for the Padres, 1-3-0 for the Redbirds. Estrada goes to 4-4. Liberatore drops to 6-8. Suarez gets his 30th save of the campaign. And the doubleheader that went off in Kansas City today, it was a split between the Guardians and the Royals. It was a makeup of yesterday's game in 10 innings. The Royals win 5-3, 5-6-0 for the Royals, 3-9-0 for the Guardians. Cruz gets the win for the Royals. Clase took the loss for the Guardians. In the other ball game, it was the Guardians winning 6-4 over the Royals, 6-9-0 for the Guardians, 4-8-1 for the Royals. Bibby gets the win. He's 7-9. Bubic takes the loss. He's 8-7. Clase comes out again, gets his 24th save of the year. Well, we appreciate everybody who has checked in tonight. Steve Rademacher, Gracie Lynn, our friend CV, anybody else who had popped in. We also thank Gracie Lynn for the super chat and the baseball purist. Thank you for doing that as well. Great to have you guys around for the action tonight. Hopefully we'll catch you guys later. We're signing off, and we'll be back on in about an hour and 11 minutes for some more action. Hopefully you guys could be there. Gracie Lynn and everybody else who was with us, that was awesome. CV, have a great night, big guy. We'll catch you later.